maybe they wouldn't have been exposed to any other way. We're trying to help with that. So it's important. It's important for us. Yeah. We're proud of it.
What is this foolishness?
How many dreams can you shape in a minute, an hour?
The kind of clean you like best.
Lost 3 of my teeth, too. All right, sir, you lost. Next time you win.
Steamy, hot, hearty, delicious, invigorating.
Everybody, welcome to a brand new Ike Live. The show is brought to you by some amazing companies, including the presenting sponsor of Ike Live, Mystery Tackle Box MTB. It's like happiness right to your doorstep once a month. Mystery Tackle Box puts brand new lures, hot items in your hand once a month. Listen to me. Use the promo code Ike Live. Get 30% off your first Elite box or 50% off your first Pro box. That's unbelievable. Also brought to you by Tin Cup Whiskey. God, I love whiskey. This is American style whiskey cut with Rocky Mountain water. It's got a classic finish to it. I personally love the rye. It's got a little bit of a bold, spicy finish. You're going to love this stuff. Straight from the Rockies to your glass. Also brought to you by TH Marine, the maker of great marine products. From everything from a John boat to a Biggie Smalls yacht. That's TH Marine. Go to thmarine.com, use the promo code Ike Live, and get $10 off a $50 order or more. Unbelievable. Brought to you by Flambeau, the makers of the best tackle storage systems in the world, including the brand new Crank Bank and Blade Crate. Of course, every single Flambeau tackle storage system has Z-Rust incorporated to help keep your hooks rust-free. Go to flambeauoutdoors.com, use the promo code Ike Live, and get 20% off your entire order. That's unbelievable. Brought to you by Founders Beer. God, I love Founders. I'm such a beer guy, and I like all styles of beer. Founders makes them. I want you to go to foundersbrewing.com, or even better yet, download the Founders app. And by doing that, you can find out what dealer or bar has Founders right near you. Also, they're going to keep you ahead of the curve on brand new beer releases. That's foundersbrewing.com. This show's brought to you by Liquid Mayhem. Scent matters. Listen to me. If you want to catch more fish, if you want to catch bigger fish, try some Liquid Mayhem, put it on your favorite lure, and you're going to get bit. Go to liquidmayhem.com, use the promo code Ike Live. You ready for this? For 25% off your order of the best scent on the market, Liquid Mayhem. Also brought to you by Heshy Socks. That's right, Heshy Socks. Who doesn't love a good, comfortable, well-fitting sock? And guess what? the Ike Live crew had a hand in this, and we've got specially designed Ike-style socks just for you. Cushioned foot and toe, stay-up technology, and they've got a technology built in there where they won't stink. This is unbelievable, okay? Great designs, under $10 with the code IkeLive at heshiwear.com. Also, they have Ike Foundation design socks. All proceeds go to the Ike Foundation. Brought to you by Torpedo Motors, the leader in electric motor drives. If you're one of the guys like me, you have a tiny boat, you have a John boat, you live on an electric-only lake, get a Torpedo if you want to be the fastest, most efficient boat on the water. Go to torpedo.com. And last but not least, the Ike Live show is brought to you by Hobie Kayaks. Hobie is the Cadillac of kayaks, and kayak fishing is changing the world. Easy access, easy to get into. I want you to go to Hobie.com to check out their large array of kayak products, including the one that I use, the Hobie 360. Listen to me. Prepare yourself. Get your popcorn. Get your Founder's Beer and Tin Cup Whiskey. Get ready for a brand new Ike Live show coming up live right now. Come on, let's watch. Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new Ike Live. The show.
There you have it. Folks at home, how you doing tonight? Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I know we are. Want to welcome you to a brand new Ike Live show. We've got a really, really solid show for you tonight. Joining us for the first time officially, we had him on unofficially. We'll talk about that later. Mark Menendez joining us. Very, very excited.
Yeah.
About Mark coming on. And even more exciting than that,
yes,
back in studio.
there's a weird hand next to you.
Yes,
Mike.
a weird hand is laying there. Back
It's
in
the size
studio.
of two hands.
Drum roll, please. Back in studio for the first time, the crust of the show, Pete Gluszek, the Dean, joining us. Yeah, back with my friend. Pete, do you feel like your old days of wrestling or tennis at Rutgers when people were like, Pete. Did they ever do that?
That's what it sounded like at tennis matches.
Did it?
Exactly like that.
Hey, you know, I would have been growling. What did they have? Was there an actual like bandstand or something where people could watch or what?
We were terrible. Well, I only played in high school tennis, but we
Okay.
didn't have a good team too. But wrestling was crazy good.
Yeah.
Man. We packed the bleachers, man.
It's awesome.
Standing room only.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had
People frothing at the mouth.
They were screaming and hollering, man. They understood the sport, man. They went nuts.
That's awesome.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
That's awesome.
It's great to be back.
Dude, it honestly, it was awesome having you on Zoom, and it was a great way to work through the world at the time. But it's never as good as having you here.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. And we could read each other better. You know, it's difficult sometimes when you're, looking at that Zoom screen. We have a little bit of a delay, It's better when you're here.
It's good to be back. I mean, I missed you, man.
I missed you too.
It's been over a year.
It's crazy.
I'm driving down these roads, and
Yeah.
everything. You're always so busy around here. You got fences up, and
Everything.
Everything's just dynamic and changing all the time.
Becky keeps me busy. You know how she is.
Yeah.
But it's great to have you back, Pete, and we've got a great show. We've both known Mark for a lot of years.
A long time.
We're going to get to talk to him about a bunch of stuff. We got great notes tonight from Mark. Can't wait to get him on. Let me finish introducing the room, and of course the guys.
Do a long intro. Just drag it out one more second. Yeah.
You want me to do a long intro? Okay. Making the plays, as they always do. They're over there conversing. They want me to drag this out somehow. I don't know how I can, other than say these two guys are critical to the show, not just from a standpoint of production and notes, but making sure things are working and camera shots and IMs and critical. Critical. We've got
more compliments.
More compliments.
Setting it up for us to fail. We'll mess something up now.
I'm trying to make you fail. Yeah. I'm trying to make you fail. Are you wanting me to delay? Because no, there you go. I
we're
thought there
good.
was something wrong. Brian the Carpenter and Riz in the studio with us
All
tonight.
right.
Handled all the dirty work. Pete, we got the easy job. We just sit here, drink our fake coffee with rum in it, and
No, that's damn. Heat hit that bottle hard
double.
already.
It's a double.
All right. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. We got a great one for you guys tonight. Let me remind you, Mark Menendez is going to be joining us in the second segment. Cannot wait to have him on. Also, want to remind you, Riz, is Facebook working tonight?
Yes.
It is. God.
We're back.
Elizabeth.
We are back.
Let me hold on. Pete, remember what's this? Is this the classic?
I'm coming, Elizabeth.
Just grabbing my chest like I was winning the classic.
That's right. Grabbing that jersey.
Right. For those of you watching over on Facebook tonight, let me remind you, we've got the world famous like and share on Facebook. And all you have to do is please like and share this Ike Live feed. Like and share the feed. If you do that, we're going to enter you into a random draw in our third segment, and you could win the Ike Live gift bag. 20, 22, 23 pounds.
At least.
Pounds, baby.
Loaded with sponsor products. Bryce, speaking of sponsors,
Yes.
I want to go through this real quick because they already had 6 minutes
Of pummeling.
of pummeling.
Yeah, you don't have to hit it right now, do you?
Let me real quick.
Save some pummeling for
Let
later?
me
All
just
right,
real
Rolling,
quick.
rolling.
Pummel.
Mystery Tackle Box is our namesake sponsor. Go to mysterytacklebox.com. Man,
Our maiden name
Yeah, our
sponsor.
maiden name sponsor. We've got some great offers there. Use the promo code IkeLive, 50% off your first box. Number 2, Tin Cup. We're loving it. We love it. We love it. We love it. We love drinking
That
this
bottle
stuff.
was full before we
Yes,
started.
and let
Shout
me
out.
tell you, this is the
actually drink
real
it.
deal. We love Tin Cup, not just on shows, with the BU Lives, of course, and the Ike Lives. We love it. But, dude, me and Brian were hanging out last week. Love it. I want to tell you a quick story real quick. Yesterday, last minute, Becky and I had a couple hours without the kids. The kids had like little play dates. We're like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? Oh, I don't know. What are we gonna do? We're gonna go to a brewery, and we're like, no, let's go watch the horse races. So I'm like, cool. So we went up to the bar up there in Glassboro with the pizza joint because we love that regatta board, the cheese.
Oh,
and
nice.
just-
Oh, Las Calas.
Oh, dude, like we only had a couple
That's
hours,
so good.
we're like, we'll watch the races and we'll just eat eat the shit and look. And where they seated us was not at the bar, but like a two-seater near the bar. And I looked back there, dude. They got Tin Cup at Las
shit.
Calas.
Did they?
Yeah,
Yes.
boy.
And you can tell. Let me just give you a good story. Go to any bar, and when you see them drawings filled up with the label still on there, it's crap. Nobody's drinking that stuff. Dude, I saw me 2 bottles of Tin Cup back there, and I mean,
Nothing
they
left.
were like that. They were
Where that one's heading.
They're getting
where this
ordered.
one's headed. So, great story.
If we have 3 episodes tonight.
Right. Great story.
It can't take much.
Great story about Tin Cup there. Also, new sponsor. You remember from last week, guys. I want to just give them a shout out. Empire Covers joined us, Pete. Very, very excited about this new partnership. Great thing about it is over the next few months, weeks and months, you're going to see this cover in action. We got Rizzo, one coming to Rizzo. You're going to get to see him with that. We've got one coming here to the house. You'll see on my tiny boat. Very, very excited. Made in the USA. Use the promo code IkeLive, 15% off any cover. Any cover. I mean, snowmobile,
Good too, man.
moped. If you're Chris Dubler, get one for your moped. You know what I'm saying, right? It doesn't matter. And then last but not least, Heshy's. Yeah, Brian.
Dirty. Yep, well, go ahead.
Oh, and I was just going to say, Heshy socks.
And Dirty Ankles Dan
yeah.
used to wear Heshy socks.
Right. Heshy socks. Listen, you're wearing socks anyway. Get some great looking socks. Go to heshywear.com. We've got the Ike socks. But more importantly, we have the Ike Foundation socks. And the proceeds from the purchase of those socks go to get kids fishing. So please head over there, heshywear.com. All right. There you go, Miss Janet. Happy about that. We want to make her happy. Let me talk about the beer real quick. That wasn't on there, but I do want to talk about it. We were for real talking about this before the camera went on. This is new, Bri.
Yeah.
You got the hookup. What is this? Talk a little
I
bit
haven't
about
tried this one
is
yet. I'm
freaking
excited.
good.
It's this.
I'm loving this.
Yeah, it's a session wheat ale.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Do
good.
a
I'm
little
not-
close up of that there, Bri, so everybody can see what this can looks like. It's all day vacay. All day vacay right there. Little different looking can than you're used to.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But dude, this is I wouldn't call it
Really
a
good.
summery beer. I would call it a
Yeah.
light-bodied, drinkable, very drinkable beer, which I like.
Looks good on the can.
Yeah, like I almost can't wait for one of those like 90, 100-degree days where you're like, ah, like that's when I want to drink this.
Thursday nighter?
Yeah. Thursday night beer league. Right. Getting one bite all night.
Good stuff.
Shout out to Founders. It's good stuff. Let me see here.
Just that third.
Pete's coffee is already on the board. Pete's Heritage's coffee
Wow.
says, "Yes, I'm finally back in studio."
Yeah.
Yo, it's been a year.
It has been a year.
Been over a year.
Over a year.
Yeah.
I think it was February or March.
I think March.
God.
I think March is
March?
when things got shitty and it was everything was turned off a
Jeez.
little bit. It's great. It is great to have you back though. I love it. We've always talked. We suffered a little in the beginning, and like I remember, right? It was like a roller coaster, because when the pandemic hit and this was awkward. You know, we weren't able to have anybody in studio. You know. It just this show it didn't really work good. Like other shows work because I don't think the dynamic,
Right.
interaction for this show is very, very key. You know,
It's different. There's no doubt. I
Yeah.
mean, you're face to face. You see your expressions. There's no delay.
right,
You know, we had to learn how to read
Yeah.
the delay
right,
and try to read facial expressions. And
tough.
you're looking at the screen over there
Right.
for me.
yeah,
And
yeah. It's this big.
yeah,
It's a little
you
tiny.
can't see what I'm what's
Yeah.
going on over there, and
Yeah.
it's a lot trickier. There's no doubt, but we survived it, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and we had some great shows, and it's really cool being back, you know.
Well, it's great having you back, and we are headed in the right direction. I like the things that I'm seeing. I think as people get vaccinated, things are opening up. The world's getting better. I can't wait, Brian Carpenter, to start having guests come back through. Like that's the next. We've had a few, right? We've had a couple good ones.
Corey and Daniel.
Corey and Daniel.
Cool.
Yep.
We've had Ben Milken and with us.
Yeah, and Ollie.
Yep, we've had
Oliver
Oliver
and I,
and with
yeah.
us. So it was nice, but I can't wait for the day when that steady flow comes back. I'm very, very excited about having some of the elite guys come through.
Do you know what followed the pandemic in 1918?
the Roaring 20s.
Bingo.
Whoa.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, let me corner you on this, Pete, because we've off camera talked about this. I want to corner you on it. What's one thing you really can't wait to do when things get back to normal? Is there one thing?
Honestly,
So many ideas.
yeah.
I have so many ideas for you, Pete.
Do you want to give us one? Do you want to answer before Pete even
Send me
answers?
the agenda.
Third segment.
The thing you were just talking about, this is going to be weird. I haven't been to a restaurant since February
Right.
of 2020.
Wow. Yep.
I haven't sat down and dined.
Really?
Haven't taken my wife out to,
Yeah.
have drinks and
I
dinner.
think a lot.
I
I think a lot of
I'm looking
people are in
forward to
that boat. Where
Yeah.
you want to get back to that, just being able to go out and socialize and have a good meal, and
The
Yeah.
Sizzler misses
Yeah.
you, bro.
the Western Sizzly is missing you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to vacations, and
Yeah.
there's just so much that we opted not to do, and
Yeah.
but we're all safe. We got through it.
Yeah.
I think we did the right thing for us, and
Yeah.
and it's I'm fishing again.
Yeah. It's nice.
I'm doing these tournaments. I'm going
Opens
to the
are coming up.
James, and
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm not the all the stuff that really threw us for a loop, like staying at hotels. You were concerned about and how
Yeah.
you're going to manage all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's all getting better every day. So it's just for me. It's just like Brian said, man. The Roaring 20. That's why I feel. I'm like, man. I'm just opening up.
He's ready to dance.
Yeah.
ready.
Well,
I'm ready.
speaking of ready to dance, Becky and I had this exact conversation the other day. I want to repeat it. We asked the same question sort of to ourselves. We were driving the other day, and I told her, I said, the one thing I can't wait to get back to. You ready for this? Now I know I'm almost 50 and all that shit. I don't care.
Come on. Don't tell nobody.
I cannot wait. As soon as things get back to normal, I'm going to the first metal concert I can find, and I'm getting in that fucking mosh pit.
Yeah.
I cannot. I want to mosh, dude. I want to get in the pit. Like I was thinking about it, and like Becky the other day, I was trying to explain it to her. She's like, "Oh, everybody's just getting in fights and you hate each other." I'm like, no, man. I'm like, there's a code in that pit.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What do you mean?" Do you know about the code?
I know.
Brian the Carpenter,
code.
you want to explain the code of the pit?
I'm intrigued by this.
Explain the code?
Explain the code. There is an actual.
Yeah, don't be a dickhead.
Don't be a dick. If you're doing the right things in the pit, right? Dude, think about it. You got, testosterone-filled, angry guys by the thousands in this circle, sweaty, mad,
shirt on,
but
stinks like a freaking hoagie.
it smells like a hockey rink.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
But there is this amazing energy that you feel there that's hard to replicate anywhere else. But the code is like, you can get in there and like, you sort of throw around, and you get into this rhythm of what's happening and throw around. And if you do it right, if somebody falls, the code is to grab that dude, pick him up, make sure he's safe, get his ass up off the floor. Like, you know what I mean? There is a code.
Yeah, you don't smoke nobody from behind.
Right. Don't be a dick, because if you're a dick, because they look for that, then you're the target. You know what I mean? So there is a code.
What happens if you're the target? What
then,
happens to you?
I mean, elbows, like purposeful, high boot to the face, like
man.
Yeah. And I mean, there's
So
been
that's what came to mind.
Yeah. I want to get in a pit. I want to get in a pit. I want to feel that.
All right. I better get some rest.
Rizzo?
Feel alive. I mean, that sounds awesome. I've never been in a mosh pit, but if you guys are going, sign me up. I'm ready.
Riz was in a semi-mosh pit at the Kenny Loggins concert years ago.
I don't even know who Kenny Loggins is.
No!
You're so old you can't even talk trash. You don't even know. You don't even know.
Sounded right.
His parents went to Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Rogers, maybe?
No,
I don't know.
Kenny Loggins. Jesus.
Dad went to Kenny Loggins. Jesus. Get it together.
No, Riz, is there one thing you want to do when the world gets back to normal that you haven't done?
Yeah, I'm like Pete said, just looking forward to being able to go out and just go for entertainment. Like whether it's just going to a restaurant or going to a bar or whatever, and just being able to kick it with my buddies and not feel like we got to wear shields and masks and everything else, and kind of just have that like weight of not knowing what's going on, kind of
just to be carefree again.
Yes.
Like when Pete walked in,
exactly.
I gave him a big hug, but it rolled through my head like, is Pete going to be cool with me giving him? We bro hugged.
Yeah.
I had to think about it. I don't want to think about that anymore.
Yeah, that is weird.
I want to get back to that, and I want to get back to the travel for going to the Classic, going to ICAST, and all the things that we used to take for granted.
Yeah.
Now we don't have them, and we've, as a society, we've adapted and we've come a long way in a year. But getting back to just that, normal life is going to be cool.
Yeah, I think what you said, Bryce, is dead on too. I miss that. Like, there is an awkwardness now.
Yeah.
When you meet people and when you meet.
Oh yeah.
You're waiting for who's gonna.
Yeah, like for me, the hardest is when I meet fans now. There's this awkwardness that I never had before. Because dude, where we grew up.
You used to sniff their hair.
Well, I'd sniff their hair. It's always, high fives. It's always, that. And now there is an awkwardness to it.
No more sniffing.
Yeah, no more sniffing hair.
Yeah.
It's like, do you fist bump?
I don't know what the hell to
do you
do.
shake?
Yeah,
do you,
everybody's
what do
playing
you
rock,
do?
paper, scissors, just to say hello. Hey, do you remember before the house was built, you had the property that there was a couple really good parties here. Giant tent.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody sloppy.
Yeah.
We need one of them.
Oh, man.
And Sean McKee's metal band says they're going to play.
Cool.
Nice.
That's awesome.
They're going to play.
I would love to hear it. Yeah.
And they're a mess. It's just going to be a mess.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Put the wife and
Bring
kids
it
to
on.
bed.
Let's put that on the radar.
Make
this
a mosh
summer.
pit out there somewhere.
Yeah.
I like it. Mary Delgado, gone head first. No panties on.
Byron.
Dude, do you remember when she fell chasing the turkey?
Oh, yeah.
So do I.
We were chasing a turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, a wild turkey.
Yeah.
Wow. That was amazing. It's unbelievable. I want to catch up a little on the fishing, too, while we're here, Pete. And I heard a report from both you and Rizzo. I need to hear about it. The Delaware River that gets the worst reviews in the world, fishing pretty good right now. I don't need specifics.
It's its time. It really is. I mean,
burn it to the ground.
This is the crazy thing. I was talking with Duran
Elvis Duran in the morning?
CD.
Eco Bass Angler.
Yeah, Eco Bass Angler. We were talking on the way down here. Same thing about the Chesapeake. I am dying to do a radio study program of these fish because we got them dialed in January and February. We kind of know where they are.
Yeah.
And then February to now, woof.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Right.
What the world are they doing? Are they running schools of herring like pelagic out in the middle of the bays?
Yeah.
And the river systems are they chasing these weird, saltwater bait fish in places we don't know about? Because they're nowhere. They're just absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
And then, like, we went out, I went out this past week. Riz is out yesterday on the river, and here they are.
Yep.
Bellies full of roe, full of food.
Yeah.
Healthy, so healthy looking, Like,
we were looking at them yesterday.
Yeah.
We were seeing the
I was
fish.
seeing them spawn. Yeah.
Well, they weren't on yet, but you could tell they were up. Like real shallow, like they were
Sniffing
wanting
around.
to do it,
Yeah.
And what makes it so cool about the river though is like, when it all comes together and you catch them real good, it's so rewarding because for the last 2 months we've been like, where the hell are these fish? And then they show up.
Yeah, it's definitely very rewarding because it's a very, very tough fish. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, according to some people, 4-pounders jump in the boat at will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. There's so many. So and so caught one in a tournament back in
many.
38.
They jump in the boat.
The cool story though. Talking with James Riley. Shout out to Riley and his buddy who fishes the river all the time, and he's been doing it for stripers. Potentially caught the world or the state record striper.
Really?
Just yesterday, I guess.
What?
There was some striper boats out there yesterday.
He measured doesn't have a weight on it, but it did the length and girth calculation and came up at like 61 pounds, I think, which is 10 pounds in excess of the state record.
Are you kidding?
Wow.
No, dead serious.
That's a giant.
When did this happen on the Delaware?
61.
Yesterday, day before.
Maybe it was
last couple days.
Yesterday there was more guys striper fishing on the Delaware than I've ever seen.
Yeah, because word got out.
Like nice rig, like really nice rigs, not like Timber Creek rigs. Like I'm talking like
the Timber Creek rig, like the one that used the the Tupperware buckets.
Yeah.
Put it on the cowling as his cowling protector.
Exactly.
That was great.
I'm talking like $300,000 center consoles I was seeing on the river. Like, what is this guy doing here?
Quad Yamahas on the back. Quad Yamaha 250s.
I was
River's
asking,
got
is there
the
some kind of
stripers,
tournament?
man. They have the stripers on that river. They have the big
Snakeheads,
striper
too.
run. And boy, you go out there and hardly anybody fishes for them.
Yeah.
And the other cool thing about it is during the summer, like the stripers stay, like the ones that are as long as your arm.
The 5s to 10s.
Yeah, they stay.
They stay.
And they'll school, and you can follow birds and run them right through Philadelphia. And catch stripers all summer long.
So you're complaining there's not enough people burning it up out there?
Come burn up our stripers.
Interesting, in the last year, I'm catching a snakehead, at least one snakehead now, every time I go. And I'm catching snakeheads like flipping. It's not always on buzz baits and spinner baits. Like
interesting.
Yeah.
All sizes.
Yeah.
All shapes.
Well, see, the same thing happens on the Chesapeake where they disappear, right? They're nowhere. Like the BFL that we fished, it was a stingy fishery.
Yeah.
And very, very tough. And then every week that goes by, all of a sudden, woof, here they are.
Yeah.
I don't know where they were. They were running out in the ocean, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then they show up.
Out in that deep water doing something.
Doing creepy stuff.
Yeah, we're going to get Charles here on in a second, Brian, but I did want to mention you had in the notes. I think we should talk about it real quick, maybe pour a little bit out. We had an angler pass away at the fishing an MLF Toyota Series on Rayburn, I guess a few days ago. Thursday. Pete Lamont, is it Lamons? Am I saying that right, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay, Pete Lamons Jr. passed away. Pour a little bit out for him right here. Hate to hear any of that. Hate to hear any time that one of our guys passes away, especially in a tournament. So, shout out to thinking about his family and everything. Shout out to
played in the Super Bowl in 1969.
Wow,
New York Jets,
former pro player. Wow, it's crazy
for the Jets.
Well, do you have any details on
what
transpired?
No, I had heard he fell out and he was unable to get pulled back in the boat. That's all I heard. I don't know the cause. You know what I mean? Like they didn't go into detail. Was it Was it a heart? Do you know any details? I don't know if it was a heart attack or if it was like
he was 77 years old.
He was
so,
77.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Well, good for him being out in the tournament at
Absolutely,
77.
right? He lived his life. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sure. Great life.
Yeah.
I think he fished like 50 or 60 events. Too.
Yeah. So we've got a special surprise guest coming on. I want to introduce him. You guys know him as Sir Charles. We know him as our friend Charles. And he's going to come on. We're going to corner him about a couple things. He fished a little derb, I think we're going to corner him about. But the most important thing, Brian, we're talking about is Half a Spot has this amazing, amazing tournament going on, virtual tournament happening. And it's a really cool opportunity to fish against some of the best pros out there.
Thank you.
Including Brian the Carpenter and Rizzo. And if you have talked a lot of smack and you want to try to beat these guys, this is a great chance. So we got Charles coming on to give us a little more information. Charles!
What up, what up, what up?
What's up, bro?
Chilling. I'm out in the garage. I'm having a cigar. I'm drinking my sorrows. I've gone through already a 6 of bottles. Waiting for you guys. Tell Becky I'm going to be late for work tomorrow.
Okay. I'll tell her. All right, now first things first. So Brian the Carpenter has his little man cave, little garage boat shop. Dave Brodzik has one. They've both come up with these amazing creative names for their man cave. Do you have one? Brian, what's yours, by the way, again?
It's the X24 Garage Bar Lounge and Studio.
There you go. And Dave has a good one. What's Dave's?
I have no idea.
He told me the other day. I can't remember. It can't be that good. Couldn't be that good. Charles, do you have a name for your man cave?
Well, it's the Garage Mahal or Charles Cigar Bar. So
like Charles Cigar Bar.
I
like that a lot too.
Yeah. So the Garage Mahal is the one that
fantastic
is thrown around a lot. Yeah.
Okay, I like it. All right, so first things first. Derby, you had on Lake Kapakong, no practice, gone in blind, doing some guessing. Give us the results. What you come up with?
First things first, before that,
okay.
I think going back to what you guys were looking forward to, Riz lied. He's looking forward to more Tinder dates.
Oh, yeah.
Kenny Loggins wrote Highway to the Danger Zone, so shame on you all for
Highway to
greatest freaking pump-up song of all time. Who doesn't know that?
I mean, it's in the running. I don't know about greatest, but go ahead.
Pete's looking forward to wearing those tennis shorts again. Shout out Pete's tennis shorts.
Pete's favorite tennis shorts.
Yeah, they stink still too, I'm sure.
Ew, yuck.
Brian the Carpenter probably wants to drink more Tin Cup. Wait, never mind. Luke Foley, please stop sending Brian whiskey, please.
Don't do that.
I'm a grown-ass man.
Keep sending it.
Yeah. Brian's looking forward to letting his ghost out again. His ghost has been on lockdown since March.
My ghost scared Dave away.
Brian's ghost and Dave got in a fight. He'll never come back now again.
So the Derb, man, the Derb was stingy. Popacon was a shit show.
Well, tell me give me water temp. Give me details here.
All right, so I launched in the southern portion to the east side of what we talked about, not people what we talked about.
Yeah.
I fished the backwater. 58 degrees, 57, 58.
Wow.
Caught one in the right off the bat. Took me another hour or two to get a bite, and I kept like, all right, I'm gonna go out to the main lake. I'm gonna go out to the main lake. I went to the main lake. I'm like, holy shit, I'm going back in because the main lake looked like the Atlantic Ocean. My butthole puckered up and I 360'd my rear end back into the cove. And then I didn't get another bite until 1 o'clock. The Derb was over at 3. One guy caught a limit. Sean Augie, shout out. He kicked our asses.
Wow.
He caught 5 or 6. He called once or twice too. So he obviously lives at the lake, so if he didn't win, we'd probably have to make fun of him.
He obviously lives at the lake.
Yeah, he does. He lives there, actually. Yeah. So, it was tough. It was fun. I tell you what, though, no sponsor pitch, nothing. This stuff right here saved my day.
Look at that. Yes, Liquid Mayhem.
No joke. I couldn't get the last 2 bites, and I just, I rubbed it really like this, nice, gently.
Sticky
Man.
icky.
Yeah, ooh wee. Yep.
I saw that in effect yesterday as well on the Delaware. I was with Johnny Valdez, and we were fishing the same spot, and he put some mayhem on his jig, and he cast it out and just let it sit there, and he's like looking around. He's like, got one, and he caught one.
Wow.
And he's like, dude, I was just dead sticking. I was like, really? That's all you're doing? He's like, but I put some liquid mayhem on right before.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And he proceeded to catch 3 more in 3 casts. So.
It's the real deal. Seen it too many times, over and over.
It was tough, man. But by the end of the day, it looked like, the males were coming up, and they wanted nothing to do with anything you threw at them. They weren't locked on. They weren't, they were just fanning some beds and moving up, and it just, it was tough. But, I got to go fishing, so.
There you go. And you didn't skunk, right? You caught a few. You put a few on the board.
Skunk. I finished fifth, so,
There you go. Points.
Yep.
It's a neat lake.
Yeah.
My man.
Positive momentum.
Yeah.
Speaking of points and positive momentum, Charles, I need you to talk about this half a spot derb that has just started. This is a big deal, right? Because I want everybody to know, and I'm going to let you explain it, but the prizes for this, the winners for this is a experience of a lifetime you will have if you end up winning this, Pete. You ready? This isn't, and nothing against some of the other virtual tournaments we had, because we've had some good ones, and we give away cool prizes, tackle and product and all this. But this goes above that. Charles, fill us in on this half a spot virtual event. What do we have happening with this thing?
Yeah, so this is the first of its kind.
Oh.
There are 2 divisions, North and South division. And within each division, there are 3 categories. You can fish with a buddy from your bass boat. You can fish from your kayak, or if you're a bank fisherman, you can fish from the bank. So no one's ever had a tournament where it intertwines, all 3 different, categories or different levels, whatever, of fishing. So listen, if you don't have access to a boat or a kayak, and, you beat the street like our guy Philly Fishing, what's it, 215? Shout out.
Hell yeah, 215.
Yeah.
Undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location, Gambler Lures, shout out.
Yeah.
That guy, by the way, eats better than anyone I've ever seen. He eats crab legs like 3 times a week. I don't know what he does for a living, but I wonder if he's hiring.
I think that's what he does for a living, Charles.
Eats crab legs?
Yeah,
Wow.
and buys expensive tackle.
That's awesome.
And he has every JDM reel known to man. He has more stuff than you, Ike.
He does. I'm sure he does. And he has a lot of hand-tied jigs, which I like too. So.
Yeah, he does.
Bare hands. Tied him with his own bare hands.
The half a spot deal, there are 3 qualifiers in the North region, 3 in the South. The 3 in the North will be fishing against Ike Live, Mike, and Stray Cast.
Oh.
So if you, again, fish from a bank, you can sign up.
Yeah.
Fish from a bank, fish from a kayak, fish from a boat. The 3 in the South are against Ben Milliken, whose derby is next weekend. Big Frog and Ish Monroe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Zach Burge.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
Yeah. So here's the cool part.
Yeah.
You fish 2 out of 3 in your region. Again, no matter what you fish from, and you finish in the top 15 AOI, you get to go down to, it's not official yet, but it looks like it very may well be Lake Gunnersville.
Whoa.
And fish against those guys live.
That's freaking awesome.
How about that?
Wow. What a tournament. Half spot virtual tournament. Come out. And I want to tell everybody, listen, I'm just telling you right now, this is going to be amazing. Ben Milliken, Ish, Zach, the Ike Live guys, myself. Dude, that's a crew right there of guys that can catch fish. The Stray Cast guys, not so much, but the other ones, for sure.
They got better fisheries than we got, though.
Do they?
I don't know. I think they got some big lakes. So whatever. Okay. We'll see.
So,
I've got some pretty bad ones down
I
here.
I got a few questions. Like, do the boaters compete against the boaters and the bank guys against the bank guys? How is it all? How is it all measured?
Pete, that's why I love you so much, because you're a details guy. You keep me honest here. So yeah, online, obviously for the qualifiers, online, if you're in the boat division, you fish against other boaters.
Okay.
If you're in the kayak division, you fish against other kayakers. If you're in the bank division, you fish against other bank anglers. That way it's a level playing field.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yep.
When is this? This all goes down when?
So some dates to remember. Next weekend, if you're in the South, all the rules and all the regions and everything is on Half a Spot. Just download the app, throw up a picture of yourself. It's actually a pretty cool app. It's just like a face base, but for fishermen and hunters. So a lot of fish pics, no Riz. There's no dating on it.
Says who?
But-
No dating.
Yeah, well, maybe there is. Sliding some Half a Spot DMs, Riz. Oh, what? So next weekend, it's fish against Ben Milliken, May 7th, 8th, and 9th. Your best 5 fish. And the prizes are cash, and there's other prizes thrown in. The cash is all determined on how many people sign up. So the more people to sign up, the more cash is out there. Yeah. And then the next one will be Ike Live. It'll be moved up a week because I forgot about the Classic. I mean,
yeah.
What kind of bass fisherman am I?
Are they even
apparently?
having the Classic this year?
I heard they are.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an MLF, dude.
Shout out the Classic. Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. And then they'll fish against Ike 4th of July weekend, so he's home, and you'll have a better chance because he'll probably be drinking this stuff all day.
All day.
That's
That loosens me up, though, man. That loosens me up.
second annual frog tournament.
Yeah.
I got to
That'll
tell
be
you
hot.
a side story. So I'm pedaling around Hopakon, and there's this guy. He's chilling in his backyard, and he's got some music cranking. I said, "Yo, boss, you drinking?" Now it's 10:30 in the morning, so the answer is probably no. And he says, "No." He goes, "Why? You want a beer?" I said, "Hell yeah, I want a beer." He goes, "All right, you know what? I'll have one with you. I'll have a beer with you." Goes into his fridge, right? He's got a fridge in his outdoor patio deck thing, tiki bar. Grabs me a beer. You know what he grabs me? No joke. One of these right here.
Yeah.
Dude.
Wow, it's all starting to make sense now. I know why you didn't have a good tournament. You were drunk.
Shh, don't tell my wife.
That's awesome, man.
Shout out Garage Mahal for hiding from my family. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tosses me one, and he and I just sat back for a few minutes, and we had a beer. And we talked about life and liberty and justice for all.
Pursuit of happiness.
Wow.
Happiness, America.
That's the privileged North. They just hand you beers as you go down.
Here we
It's
go.
actually nice. It's nice because I'll defer to Pete on this one as well. Lake Hopakon residents, in my experience of tournament fishing, are not always that.
They're throwing
Not
empty
super
beer
cool.
cans at
They're
you.
yelling at you. They're throwing shit at
Hitting
you.
golf balls.
I've fished docks where I've had to endure
Maybe it's
being
your approach,
hosed,
though, dude.
being hosed down.
You got hosed?
Oh yeah, hosed down. Or the one dock had a motion detector
That's the one.
with a sprinkler. It was right in Lee's. It was this famous dock that everybody knew about. It wasn't like it was secret, but release fish would use it all the time, and it was great dock. And I remember I just enduring it. I would go, it was always for me a midday spot because dudes would fish it first thing. Dudes would fish it at the end because it's near where we'd ramp from. But I'd sneak in there about halfway through the day, and I'd go in there and I'd put my rain suit on. And my partners would always look at me like, what in the hell? It's sunny out. It's calm. I'd put my bibs on. I'd put the jacket on, zip it up, put my hood over, put my glasses on, and I would just go up there. And I'm getting hit with the spray. I'd pitch that stone jig up around that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
awesome.
Not so friendly there.
Not so friendly.
Two things for that. First off, why didn't you tell me about that spot? Thanks.
Not
The
enough
second-
tournament shot. That's a retread spot. Not enough tournament shot.
Second is there was one of those guys, and I'll give you you ready? Here's the example of what happened. All right.
Yes.
So here's his dock, right? He's got one of those boat dock house things,
Yeah,
right?
get away from my dock.
No. It was better than that, right? So here's my lure, right? Right? And here's him. What are you doing? I'm like, bro, it's just I'm fishing. Screaming at me, yelling, throwing his hands up there. You can't fish here. You can't fish here. I'm like, it's a lake, dude. God owns this water. God owns the water.
He does.
You don't own the water.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. That's a rough crowd. I don't miss that part, you know.
Yeah.
Having to deal with that crap.
Yeah.
And
No.
you know, but you got to be courteous too. A lot of anglers are just sideways, man. They'll take, you know, 3/4 ounce jigs and smash them against fiberglass hulls
Yeah.
and
Not on
leave
purpose.
crankbaits in boat covers and
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. And
But-
it's happened to me other places. I would say the Northeast, it's happened more to me. But I've had those experiences in other parts of the country too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Really?
oh yeah.
The Chessie?
It doesn't happen as much down south, but
Oh, the Northeast.
I mean, yeah, the
gotcha.
Northeast.
I gotcha,
mean,
yeah.
you know, fisheries down south. Generally, more people fish down there, right?
They get it.
So they get it. But
Yeah.
I have had bad experiences
Yeah.
in those
They live
places.
on the lake because they got money, not because they like water.
Right.
Right.
I got you.
Right.
Hey Charles, Pete's Girth wants to know: is the Midwest combined with the North or the Northeast?
He's never going to come back, Pete's Girth. Now knock it off. Be nice.
Shout out
We
Pete's
just say
Girth.
courteous. Bastards.
Midwest,
Yes,
Charles,
but-
combined.
So the Midwest, it's broken down on the app in the regions, and I mean, there's a pretty fine line right down America. Yeah, right down the middle of the Freedomville. So I mean, go on, depending on where you live, you can check it out. But I don't know where Pete's Girth is checking in from, but
So there is
yeah.
a map though.
there is a map.
Okay.
There is a map.
What
Yeah.
is that?
Ketchko.
Yep.
Norman.
Yeah, little bandit.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Oh,
Well,
all
this
right.
is, I got to tell you, listen, if you're watching or listening right now, if this sounds too good to be true, it's because it is. Man, enter this thing. I think Charles hit it on the head. Dude, you don't have to have the $100,000 bass boat. You can, but you don't have to, right? You could have a John boat, tiny boat, a canoe, a freaking kayak, hip waders, freaking Rocky boots, right? You can enter this event and have a chance to fish against some of these guys. It's exciting.
So
Very
I mean,
exciting.
if I'm on them, right, and I'm catching them, can I enter the tournament too? Because I know I'll tie myself, you know, and then I
think
just got
that's
to beat Mike
disqualification.
and the
No,
other
you-
guys.
You know, all you guys are the same.
Oh, you
I
guys.
got all the other pros going, hey, can I win the money?
True
No, you
guys.
can't teach the class and take the lunch money from the kids. That's not working. Not right. No.
No.
Sorry.
No, I can't do that, Brian.
Hard no.
Sign my little bit of clown.
How are you gonna fish, Mike? Are you gonna bank or kayak or boat?
I think I'm gonna do tiny boat and or kayak. I think I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna give myself, you know, I'm a July time frame. I like that time of the year. I like getting places where the other boats can't get. Right. I like getting up in those mats. I love that trout stream pattern, dude. In August, in July, in August. But that time of the year, that cooler water coming in those headwaters. Come on, dude.
Yep.
That's where I feel like I have a chance to catch them. You know.
Nice.
So that'll be my strategy. All right, listen, Charles. One
And it
more
just
time.
happens to be timed with your trip to Lake Fork.
It happens to be time. That's right. No, it should have been though. I'll be relegated to shitty South Jersey.
Yeah.
So if I catch them, I'm actually catching them. Charles, one more time. People watching, listening right now, how can they enter this? Where do they need to go to get this app? Tell them that one more time.
Download the Half a Spot app and just go through the tournaments. Make yourself a free profile, and then scroll through the tournaments, and you'll see the Ike Live tournament's already up. Ben Milliken is next weekend, and we'll be adding the Ish and Ike and Zach Burge and Straight Cast tournaments soon.
Yep. Okay. So it's Half a Spot.
HA.
HAFASPOT.
Yep.
C spot run, half a spot. Okay, half a spot. All right, there you have it. Very exciting, Pete.
Very exciting stuff.
Looking forward to it. Charles, thank you for that update.
You got it. Thanks, guys. It's good seeing you.
Good seeing you.
Jazzy.
So Charles,
Enjoy the
everyone.
cigar bar.
Yes, cigar bar.
Shout out Pete's tennis shorts.
Cigar.
That's the name.
Cigarette.
The cigar bar, Charles Cigar Bar.
Yeah,
I like that.
definitely.
One. That's the one. That's the one. That's a good one.
See, Charles.
All right, listen, Brian. I think
Brian.
I
Yep.
think we'll take a little break. We'll take a little break,
Yep.
and then when we come back, of course, I can't wait to get Mark on. If you're watching and listening right now, hang in there with us. Go take a break, take a pee, get a snack, whatever you want to do. When we come back, the one and only Mark Menendez, more Ike Live.
You work hard to catch your fish. TH Marine has 2 products to ensure your fish survive. The Oxygenator injects 100% pure oxygen into your live well. That increases fish survival by 35%. For the perfect combo, add G-Juice Live Well treatment. It calms fish, stops bleeding, removes ammonia, and replaces slime coat. Get an Oxygenator and G-Juice and keep your fish alive.
At Founders Brewing, we asked ourselves, what if we brewed a beer perfect for any occasion? A beer that makes a weekday feel more like the weekend, and the weekend feel more like an adventure. What if we brewed a beer that brought us together and allowed us to be ourselves? A beer that is just as much of a companion as it is a reward at the end of the journey. What if we explored the unknown together and found a new way to celebrate taste and flavor and life's simple pleasures? And what if we brewed a beer that could go where you go without slowing you down? Founders All Day IPA, low ABV and full flavor that goes where you go. Perfect for any occasion.
We're excited to announce our brand new partnership with an amazing company, Heshi Socks. That's spelt Heshi Socks. Go to heshysocks.com to check out my brand new Mike Iaconelli collection. That's right, I have my own custom socks in tournament colors. I promise you, you will never, I mean never, find a more comfortable sock. The great news, all my socks are under $10 a pair when you use our promo code IKE20. Go to heshysocks.com, use the promo code IKE20 to get the most comfortable socks in the world. You know, right now where we're standing, we're in Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is right there. This is the concrete jungle. And, you know, a lot of those kids, as they grow up, they don't fish. It's interesting because they're surrounded by water, you know, the Delaware River, the Schuylkill, ponds, city park lakes. But they don't have the influence to cast, to fish, to have a rod and reel. And that became our focus, you know, is to target kids in what we call non-traditional areas, you know, urban areas, city centers, where the population's high, and let these kids have the experience. You know, it's amazing. I mean, some of the experiences we've had, whether it's Central Park in New York City, here in Camden, other parts of the country, even just casting.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to see it, isn't it?
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
And you know, you see these kids have this experience they've never had, and they light up, you know? The big thing, I think, for the Ike Foundation is we're not saying we want all these kids to become professional anglers.
No.
It'd be great if some of them did, but we want them to have that fishing experience because it ties them to so many other positive things. The outdoors, nature, conservation. Ecology, you know, all these amazing things in life that maybe they wouldn't have been exposed to any other way. We're trying to help with that. So it's important. It's important for us. Yeah. We're proud of it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new Ike Live show. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Man, I know we are. We got a good one for you tonight. Joining us in just a little bit, we've got the one and only BASS Superstar Pro, Mark Menendez, join us. Very, very excited to get Mark on. Officially the first time we've had him on. Well, unofficially, we've had him on before. But real quick, also, during that break, look who joined us, Miss Rebecca, everybody.
Miss Rebecca.
Dude, this is
No need to
really,
yell. We all have headsets on.
dude, this is really starting to feel like the old Ike Live.
Yeah, that's
I'm starting
the way
to get
we used
that
to do it.
feeling. This is awesome. You know what I mean? I like it. It feels great. We were speaking earlier, Beck. It's nice to have Pete in studio again. Look, you can actually see him. Look, he's real. Look, touch.
It is. Do I have one of those little foam things for this? Because I swear to God, I think you guys can hear my breathing without it.
Nah, the foam. Here, put that fake mustache on there. That'll work.
It's so weird.
That'll work. It doesn't matter.
It's just me breathing heavy, everyone.
That's all right. It is nice to
making this show.
Yeah. Making people sound like
We got to
R-rated.
Yeah, R-rated.
Is that why it was? There's no foamy on that.
There's no foamy on that. There's a whole thing of foamy somewhere. Who cares?
Well, for crying underwater.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Riz, grab me one so they don't have to hear me breathe.
Yeah. Oh man, that one's got a foamy. Wait, hold on.
That's Rich's at its live.
Who cares about the foamy?
Can you hear me breathing?
No, we can't hear you breathing.
It's in my head.
It's in your head.
You're
I
good.
hear it.
Did you smoke marijuana when you came in here? Are you paranoid?
No, I put the kids to bed.
Oh, okay.
I sat in the sun all day.
All right.
I put the kids to bed. Yeah, that is like.
All right. Don't sound so paranoid.
Vitamin D overdosed.
All right. It's nice to have everybody back in studio. It really is. Okay, so Beck, since you're back in studio, this is like old times. You know I got to ask you this. Who are you wearing? Who are you wearing?
Take a deep breath.
Who are you wearing? Breathe for us.
Everyone's gonna hear me breathe. I think these are some really comfy Anthropology palazzo pants.
Palazzo. What makes pants palazzo pants?
They're big and flowy. Here's the
Okay.
thing. The kids had games at noon, 3, and 5 today.
Right.
And I knew the weather was going to be sunny and warm.
Put that over the mic. Here, wear this and see if that cuts the breathing in. Hold on.
All right.
This is going to help.
So I knew that it was going to be that like crazy weird temperature. Where I don't know what you're laughing about. Anyways, I knew it was going to be bizarre temperature today because the wind was blowing, which would potentially make it cool, but it was hot and sunny, so I needed layering clothes.
Right. You had the layer.
Can I still drink my wine with that?
Yeah, you can drink your wine.
Oh wait, I got to get past the mic, making noise.
It's got to cut it down a little, though.
Yeah.
The mustache.
Can
does.
you take me serious like that?
So
Yeah, sure I can.
So how did the games
No,
go?
he's really
Were they
got it.
winners today, Mr. Becker?
So we had winners today. We had Vegas won his game.
Okay.
And Vegas got a goal.
Yeah.
All right.
Today. Shout out to Vegas to Hammer.
man.
He's a defenseman, so when he gets a goal, it's a rare thing. So that was nice. And Stella,
Slap shot from the point.
Sorry.
Oh,
It wasn't-
hold on
it wasn't
a
a
second. Hold on. Golly.
you turned me off. You didn't turn her off. All right. All right.
Stop yelling and I'll turn the mic on. My God.
Stop yelling. Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Stella won
so Vegas is a defenseman, and
Yeah, they
he's
got a goal.
always been a defenseman. So it was so fun because they were playing this really tough team that honestly I didn't think that they were gonna win.
Yeah.
You know, like they were bracket 7 last year and they won every game. So we moved them up to bracket 3 this year.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, this will be good and even. But they have gotten so much better as a team. A lot of these kids have been playing together since they were like 2 and 3 years old on rec. Granted, they're only 10 now, but 7 years for these guys. Like they've learned so much. And they were dominating the game. So the coach let him play offense for a couple minutes. And in those couple minutes, he scored a goal.
That's awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Taking
And,
advantage of the opportunities.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was so fun.
That's right. And Stella won one and lost one, so they had she had a good run too.
Yeah,
That was nice.
She in soccer or lacrosse?
she's in lacrosse.
Okay.
Did you say they were playing since they were 2 or 3?
Yeah, because think about that. You put them in that little like rack where like the goals are this big and they all just teeter around and kick balls. Like they've been doing that together since then.
Robots.
Yeah.
Robots.
That's cool.
Put the glasses
Yeah.
back on and do that.
Yeah, put the glasses back on. That was more fun. Let me remind everybody, you're watching a brand new Ike Live. We've got Mark Menendez joining us a little bit. Let me catch up on a couple things real quick. Pete, if I can. First one is, want to remind you, we've got the like and share contest going on, Riz, over on Facebook. If they like and share the feed, if you're watching over on Facebook, we will enter you in a contest to win this bag. Also, Riz, correct me if I'm wrong, but we won here
from people. We want to hear from them. How can they get a hold of us if they want to ask a question or a comment? What can they do here?
Absolutely. As always, guys, you can watch the show for free at IkeLive.com. That's www.IkeLive.com. Also, we're monitoring our Facebook feeds and our YouTube feeds. You can find both of those at Ike Live. And on the front of our Ike Live Facebook page, you can see all the discounts you get with our Ike Live promo codes to the awesome companies that we work with.
That's awesome. Also, we thank you guys for what you do, doctors, nurses, crazy world. We appreciate it. It is two things I want to catch up real quick, and we're going to get Mark on because I can't wait to get Mark on. It is Big Bass Week on all the channels, Pete. This is exciting. And I mentioned this in a social post, but what a great guest to have on Ike Live tonight.
Right.
When we're talking about he's caught, in fact, one of the biggest bass ever.
It was the biggest.
It was the
when
biggest.
it was caught.
When it was caught. And Mark Tyler broke it with a 14-something. But Mark Menendez caught a 13.9.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, giant bass. And it is Big Bass Week on the Ike Live, on the Ike channels, the BU channels, the Ike Foundation. What does Big Bass Week mean? If people are watching and listening right now and say, oh, this is cool, it's exciting. What does that mean? What's
well, it just means we're all going to put out, all the big bass that we've got. So education-wise, BU, for you, all the big bass that you've caught. But we also want the fans and the kids to get a showing. So big bass, either video or still photo that you want to send in. If you're a kid, send it to the foundation. We want to put you up on our platforms and show you off. If you're a little wacky, then you should probably go to Ike Live. If you're maybe a little bit more straight-laced, BU and MikeIconelli.com. But
I like it. Okay. All right. There you have it.
If you're here, just go to Ike Live. And
if you're zany and wacky.
Zany.
Yeah. All right. There you have it. And hashtag is Big Bass Week. So I invite everybody to follow along with that. Also, Beck, I'm glad you're here because I want everyone to know we've had already 3 or 4 conversations about the upper Chesapeake Bay already.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But Ike Foundation Celebrity Pro-Am, Pete, huge success last year, coming back to the upper bay in 2021. Tell everybody about it. It's open for registration right now.
It's open for registration. We still have a couple restrictions put on us, but we can have the tournament. It's 2 guys per boat, gals per boat. You
can't
can
do 3?
Huh?
We can't do 3.
We're not allowed. No.
Okay, 2 guys
You'd
per
be
boat.
too close.
2 guys per boat. The
2 guys.
tournament is
I'll leave it alone.
June 5th.
June 5th.
Okay. Registration's open right now.
The IkeFoundation.org, you can register. So go sign up because
the limit is how many boats? The
150.
150 is it.
And when we hit it, we're done. And we can't take registrations the day of, so I wouldn't wait. I would get it knocked out, get signed up. It's going to be a fun event.
Super
fun.
fun.
The other cool thing is anyone who went to the real early ones knows that we did the Family Fun Fest, which was a free event for families, everything.
It was awesome.
We can't do that entirely yet. We're not. I'm thinking next year we can pull this off.
Yeah.
But right now we're partnering with the local YMCA and the Boys and Girls Clubs, and they're actually putting together kids and some families and stuff to come. And we're going to be able to teach them how to fish and give them some rods and reels. So it's going to be kind of like a pre-registered
Life's back to
thing.
normal, Pete.
Yeah.
Life's getting back to normal.
So we're getting there. We're excited. We're hoping to have about 100 kids.
That's awesome.
It's a great event.
That is great. Great event.
So important.
Last year was awesome. Hey, the fishing in June on the Chesapeake is just unstoppable.
Dude.
It is so many fish were caught at last year's Derby.
10 bags last year over 20 pounds. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, dude.
We would have had almost that if Dave knew how to call. They said there was too much foam in my live well.
Too much foam. Oh, here's our little one. 4-pounder goes out. Oh, wait. Why is this 12-incher in here? Huh?
We've been calling these all day. There's still a 12.
Oh, no, we called down. How'd we get back to 4?
Dave's not even here to defend
No, he's not here to
Dave.
defend himself.
Hey, Dave, I done it. I threw my 5th fish back before I called at 4. in a tournament.
I did that too.
In a pro tournament, where
that hurts.
I caught my 5th fish, and I thought it was my 6th fish.
Yeah.
And I just went through and I called and I counted.
Dude, here's
as
the
a
thing.
mistake. But I saved the day later on, but it was scary for a while.
Everyone has strengths and weaknesses in who they are.
This is true.
Dave, I got to tell you, his garden, he's got
Strong.
a green thumb. It's amazing.
Strong.
I saw a water feature that he's designing. He used all rock from the Delaware River, specifically
that's very
stone from the
cool.
Delaware. It looks gorgeous. I saw a lamp.
Does anyone
that he
else want to
built.
go with a rock that's not from the Delaware River and just stick it in and see?
He'll notice. He'll notice.
He will notice.
He will.
I saw a lamp that he built out of driftwood, like this amazing, beautiful lamp. So he's creative,
Dave
he's
loves
smart,
lamp.
he's articulate, but in culling his math skills,
No, math is bad.
very bad,
His math
And
is
directions.
very bad,
Oh my God.
very bad.
Directions.
Dave's not very good.
Go
at that.
east, follow the sun.
Yeah, yeah.
Dave, I've made this drive every day.
Just drive towards the sun.
That was such a good one. Oh, dude, that was strong.
We got that on video.
Oh God, that was strong. All right, I want to get Mark on.
We ready?
We ready? You ready?
We're ready.
Through all that? Okay. Through all that nonsense. This is the real part of the show. If you're watching and listening, finally, so excited to have him on officially. And I say that because and we'll talk a little bit about it, but Mark was on unofficially talking about some Yamaha stuff. But officially, for the first time ever on Ike Live, Mark Menendez on the show. Yes!
All right.
What's up, Mark? Yes! Yes, Brian! Yes, you did it.
Oh,
Brian did it.
Of course I did.
oh man.
We're blaming it all. This is 2 Ike Lives in a row, Brian the Carpenter.
Hold on, we ain't dead yet.
Oh, we're
It's
not
still-
dead yet.
no, it's
Okay.
Rich.
This would
Dig
not
in,
be
Rich.
Ike Live if shit worked.
Yeah. And I got to be honest with you, Pete. So, I don't want to say Jared Littner was a bad. We love Jared Littner. Jared Littner was a great
Loved
guest.
you, yeah.
We had Corey and Daniel in the studio, the Tackle Warehouse
number.
guys.
Yeah.
And we had technical difficulties with Mark. Mark was our, we had him all lined up.
Yep.
We
He
couldn't
had
get
no
him on.
His Wi-Fi was weak.
His Wi-Fi was weak. He was sideways. There was
Yeah.
all this stuff. So we were unable to have Mark on last show, and we had Jared on. And so we were, this has been a long time in the making here. So now to see Mark again and not have him, this is very anticlimactic here.
Do you think people tune in just to see this
They probably
fail?
tune in for the
Disaster.
failures of this.
Every time?
We got it. We got it fixed.
We do have it.
Go ahead,
fixed.
drum
I'm
rolls,
not going to.
please.
I'm not
No,
going
we
to
don't.
believe it until I hear Mark say
So,
something.
Mark.
Hello,
Ah! Oh my God! I can grab my chest again. Oh, this is months in the making, and we finally hear his voice.
Yes, success. The last time we tried this, I was in the middle of Texas in a metal building, and it just didn't work. And here I am in the middle of Alabama. I'm getting ready for a tournament tomorrow. So good to be with you guys. I haven't seen you all in a very long time.
Well, it's
Yes,
Good to see you,
have
Mark.
you.
good to see you. Good to hear you. We're
Yes.
so happy to have you on this week. The timing could not be better, and this sort of happened by default because last week we lost you with the Tackle Warehouse guys, but this week, Mark, is Big Bass Week here across all our channels, including Bass University, and you have had a knack in your career for catching big ones. I want you to go. I know you've told this story a million times, but I want you to tell it again on the show tonight. You were fortunate enough to catch a 13.9 at Richland Chambers down there in Texas. Tell us about that fish. Tell us what it ate, the fight, what it felt like to land it. Give us that whole story again.
It was in megabucks, Mike, and it was the perfect storm. That's all I can tell you. The weather lined up. Water temperatures were 50 to 52. We were about 3 days from a full moon, and we woke up that morning to a very low overcast day. I mean, you could almost take your rod tip and touch the sky.
Yeah.
And a slight north wind. And I the first day I had about 16 pounds in this one area, and knew it had a lot of potential. That lake at that time did not have a huge fish population, but it had a very mature fish population. So it had a lot of 5 to 9 to 10 pounders. So I started my day in a different area, and there were about 8 or 9 other boats in there. And I'm the only guy, including the co-anglers, that didn't catch one. Oh. So about 9 o'clock, I'm pissed off. I haven't caught one. Everybody else caught one. My guys got one. I watched Doug Garrett catch a 10-pounder right in front of me. So I crank up the motor and I take off running back towards that area I fished on day one. Now, this is before GPS. All I had was a little flasher going round and round and round on the dash. And it was foggy. It was patchy fog on the water because it was so cold that day. And I ran right to that particular little cove that had those trees in it. I sat down, I dropped the troll. I'm throwing a 1/2 ounce spinnerbait in a cantaloupe color that I put red in. Had a white trailer on it. And the whole technique, guys, was to throw it past the tree, reel it up to the tree, let it fall on this side of the tree in case you got a bite, because these were big, nasty fish in big, nasty cover, and you get them on this side of you. And about the second throw, I fire over there, come up to the side of the tree, it goes down, and I hit a limb and I let it fall, and my line just jumps and goes slack. So it just thumped it real hard. I set the hook, and the fish immediately moves out of the brush pile. The tree was standing in 16 feet of water, and the creek channel was 22. So it was just a slight drop. Fish is out over that deep water. She makes one run down the side of the boat, and I have to put my thumb on the spool. I've got brand new 20-pound line on there to stop her. I reeled about 6 times and pulled her to me. My co-angler reached out there with one hand and got her. Second hand, he lifts her up, and when he does, the spinnerbait falls out.
Oh, wow.
She was never hooked. She was just pinned in the top of the head with that Gamakatsu hook in the spinnerbait.
Oh, man.
And I immediately snatch it from the other guy's hands. And I know it's a giant. I have no idea how big it is. I know it's big. And I stuff it in my live well, and it won't go in the live well. It has to be diagonal in the live well. Oh my God. So I'm going crazy. I know it's a gigantic, it's the biggest fish I've ever caught. An 11 2 days before in practice, but this fish was that much bigger. But the sweetest thing about this whole story, guys, is guess what this guy's name was that landed this bass for me?
Oh,
Ron?
Should we make that a trivia question?
Yeah.
Bass should, because Bass Word, this man's name was Noble Handy.
Whoa! Wow!
No.
Noble Handy.
He had landed another fish for another competitor in another tournament about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks prior to this, it was way up in the 12s, and he was so upset. He says, "Look, this is 2 times in 2 weeks. Somebody gets a double digit in the boat. I'm the one that's the net guy or the guy grabbing the fish."
Insane.
Wow!
So,
wow!
Truly handy.
That is crazy. And by the way, as you're telling this story, I brought it up, Mark, so Becky could see the mammoth that this is. I don't know if Riz, if you want to grab the phone and show everybody over there, dude. This thing doesn't even look real.
Yeah.
It the best way I can describe it, if you're listening right now, and
belly.
you're not going to be able to see this image, is have you ever, Beck? You know the bass pillows that they sell at like Walmart that look fake?
Like one right behind you?
Yeah, it looks like that thing. It doesn't look real. Look at here it goes. Here it goes for everybody watching. Look at that thing. It looks ridiculous. Wow. That's incredible.
Barely 24 inches long, Mike, and 25 and a half inches around.
Wow.
Oh my, wow.
So she went into the share lunker program that Texas has. She was spawned at the Freshwater Fishery Center in Athens. They took those fry and put them back into Richland Chambers. And then I had a choice. I had 3 choices. I could take the fish and mount the fish on the wall. I could take the fish and eat the fish if I so desired. I could release the fish, but I found another solution. She actually went to the Tennessee Aquarium in Chattanooga and lived the rest of her life in a big jacuzzi there that we built this deal with Hydrosport Boats years ago, partnered with the aquarium, and over 2 million school kids a year got to see that giant fish in real life for over 7 years, and the impact that she had on competitive fishing and the history behind her. Wow. So she lived 14, awesome. 7 when I caught her, guys. So that was a 2 pound per year average of growth on that fish. And then she lived 7 years after that. She was 14 years old.
Wow. Mark, what I remember you named her. What was her name?
I named her Miss Patty, and that was one of the sweetest women in the world that worked at Hydrosport Boats years ago. So I named her Patty after my good friend there that worked there that was always so good to all of us that ran boats through Hydrosports.
Wow.
That's great.
What a great story.
Now, Miss Patty, did she get bigger in the aquarium?
You know, they don't take on a lot of growth when they're in a confined area piece. So she didn't get much bigger. When I talked to the biologist, that she went well over 14, almost 15 pounds by the time her life expectancy expired.
Wow.
Big old giant fish.
I was at that tournament, and that was amazing. It was everybody was talking about it, and everybody was going crazy. I remember leading up to that tournament, the weather was so miserable. It was just rain and cold and impossible fishing conditions. And then during the tournament, like you said, the perfect storm. It all of a sudden the weather lightened up, and pre-spawn big bass were being caught all over that lake, and of course none bigger than the one you caught.
It's insane.
Well, here's the cool deal. You know how we used to, when Ray would see a big fish, we'd bet $1 on the weight and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Ray said, bet you $1 on it. Well, I didn't know it the day that I caught it, but after I watched the video, Ray Scott guessed the weight perfectly. He guessed that fish like 13.9. So a big deal, Ray, on that one. But yeah, he guessed it exactly right.
Wow.
That's impossible.
That's impossible. Well, it's impossible to catch that fish in a tournament to start with. That's it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Is that your personal best, Mark?
It is my personal best, but I can tell you another story. When we went to the California Delta, Mark Tyler broke the overall record 2 years later with a 14.9. And we were there in, I want to say it was 2002, I guess it was, at the Delta. And I'm in the very same area that Mark caught his big fish. And there was a little thunder shower moving right down the canal I was in, and the wind picked up. So what did I pick up, guys? I picked up a spinnerbait. I fired it into a little jog in the grass, and the whole world erupted. And I hung this fish, and it ran back in the grass, and it mired itself in the grass. And then all of a sudden, it just takes off, clipping the grass as it goes. And when it rolls out in front of me at about 20 feet, it would have eaten Miss Patty.
Whoa.
This fish, my estimation, was a good 3 or 4 pounds. I guess the fish to be in the 17-pound range. I've got her over the top of 20 feet of water in one of those dug canals out there, following her with my trolling motor down through there, just thinking, I've got you. And I should have never had that thought. My line, the spinnerbait broke.
Oh, God.
No. When you break a spinnerbait, you get the blades back, right, guys?
Yeah.
I got the body of the bait back. And again, like Miss Patty's spinnerbait, where the hook just held her and I curled the point of that hook, this big hook point had gotten curled where I hit her in the top of the mouth. And you guys know that feeling you get when the blue lights come on behind you? Don't lie.
Oh, God.
I felt like that forever. And the gentleman that was with me was from St. Louis, Missouri. And I've seen him several times. And every time I see him at a sports show, I'm like, dude, blue lights are still on in my head from losing that fish.
Whoa.
It was an absolute gargantuan.
That's one that hurts. Like I know, because I've had that happen with nothing close to that size, but I've had it happen. and it hurts. Like, you know when somebody talks about getting hooked with the treble hook, you can, or you see a picture, you almost feel it. You know, you're like, ah. When you were telling that story, I had like, it like hurt.
I'm right there with you.
It hurt me.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So
Talk about highs and lows of the sport. You know, a
how many-
13-9 coming in and then losing that.
Yeah, I still think about it, Mike. I still think about it all the time. And just think about how many times you're ever going to be in that position. You know, that's the one cast in my life I would love to have back.
Yeah.
Factors that go into life that keep us on tour or take us away from the tour, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But that's one cast that I sure would love to have back.
Wow, that's crazy. And if you're watching and listening right now, it is Big Bass Week on all our channels. 2 great stories from Mark. And the one common theme there, if you're watching and listening, you want a big bass, spinnerbait, Pete.
Yeah.
Spinnerbait.
Wind starts blowing.
Yeah, when
pick
those
up a
wind starts
spinnerbait.
blowing, pick up a spinnerbait. Or a spook. I want to change topics a little bit, Mark, and I want to switch to something that, you know, we've all known you for this over the years. And just talking right now, it's a great example of it. You are one of the great educators in the sport of fishing, right? You've got amazing fishermen that can't convey well what they're doing. You do it so well. You're one of the great educators. Both Pete and I have had a chance to work with you over the years at BU and other programs, other seminars. Couple questions based on that. One is that a lost art? You know, because we have so many young anglers watching and listening to the show, and they say, you know, what can I do to be a top tour professional? And they look at young guys that all they want to do is fish, and they forget about this portion of it. Talk a little bit about how important it is to be an educator.
Well, it really is. You know, I've been fortunate to be in the sport a long time, and it's great to be able to give back to people the same joy and same opportunities the sport has given me. I might get this genetically, guys. My mom was a school teacher, an educator, a principal, a grant writer for 43 years. So maybe I get that genetically. I don't know. But I've always built my business as a fisherman, Mike, to be able to diversify it. Yeah. You have the fishing part of it. You have the actual fishing part of it that's very important. You have your sponsor relations that's very important. But if you can blend being able to talk to people and teach them the sport, then it gives you a whole different level of security on the diversification in your business.
Yeah.
And that has carried me my whole career. Like I said, I don't know whether that came from my mom or where it came from, but I really enjoy it when you've got an audience and you see they've gotten in there and gotten real quiet. They're listening to your voice and they've had breakfast. And then all of a sudden you do something crazy and wake them up. And then the light bulb comes on, you know, you're doing your job. Because the thing I want to do and the thing I've always done, I've never held back on secrets as far as how to weight a jerk bait or what to do.
Riz, you listening?
Yeah. Tell it. Because the guys and gals that are there, if they can take that little trick and add it to their repertoire and they catch their personal best, they catch a 6, 8, 9, 10 pound fish, then I've done my job. And that carries on a lot of credibility if you can convey that to the anglers that want to learn.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you mentioned it, but Pete, we talked about it before the show started. Mark has been one that has had a great roster of sponsors through his entire career, through the thick and thin, right, which are the bad times. You mentioned the recession of 2008. Other stuff that has happened in the sport with COVID, with the leagues changing. Mark's held it. That says something, Pete.
Well,
that says something.
Mark's a true pro, and I know I must have said this to you before, Mark, but if I hadn't, it's a long time coming. I wanted to thank you. You really helped me when I started, and I know you introduced me to Gary White. You helped me get my first seminar, and I've always appreciated that, and I want to thank you for that. You've been a real pro for me from the outside coming in. It was great to have someone like you to look up to and just kind of help and grow with you and help me. and that was awesome. But what I also admired you for was your abilities in the sponsorship world, because I was trying to figure that out, and we all were. 08 must have been real hard for you. I know it was hard for everybody when the sponsorships all kind of pulled back. But I guess what I'm asking, what's some advice that you give on, how you do it and how to maintain these relationships and work hard for these companies?
Well, the one thing you have to do, Pete, and you guys know this, is you've got to be a believer in the product. If you are getting some kind of deal in which it's some kind of kooky, crazy gimmick of a piece of a product that doesn't catch fish, it'll be seen through very quickly that you're just there for one thing, and that's to take it to the bank. So I've always dealt with products that I use every day, that I feel like suit my uses the best. And I always looked at it, if it was good for the company, if whatever I was doing was good for the company, then in turn it would be good for Mark Menendez. And that turn of 2008 that you were talking about, selling boats at that time, I managed to sell about 5 or 6 and 8 and 4, 5 and 9. I paid for myself for sponsorship. And those things really stand out when you do that. Now that we have social media, the print media, which was what we all grew up fighting for those magazines, it's diluted in the amount of your exposure. So social media is an easy way for you to do it, but you still need to follow. If it's good for that company, then it's good for you. So, you mentioned the highs and lows, and I would be remiss not to mention this, that I had to withdraw from fishing in 2012, 13, and 14 due to my late wife and her pancreatic cancer battle. And every sponsor I had executed every contract that was in place, kept new ones in place during that 2 years while Donna was fighting tooth and nail, fighting pancreatic cancer. And every one of my sponsors stayed with me, and I will be forever grateful to all of those people.
Yeah,
that's saying something strong there.
That is saying something. That's awesome.
So what was cool,
and that says a lot about you, Mark, and you've done such great work for them that they would stand by you. I mean, that speaks volumes, not only for them but for you too. And that was awesome. But you said something here about how are you making that transition? I remember I used to put media events together and invite you, and you came to a couple of them, and we used to do the print, to try to get the print stories written. How is making that transition for you into the social media world? A lot of guys that have been veterans as long as you have haven't made that transition nearly as well as you're doing.
I don't want to call anyone to the plate, but Mark Davis is still using a bag phone. I'm not kidding.
Nextel.
Tilly tried giving him iPhone. He didn't want it. He wanted to keep using his bag phone. So
it's
consistent. You have to be smart, and I'm smart enough to know to get somebody to help me, somebody who is technologically savvy. And you guys are going to laugh at who I use, because he's a great fan of the sport. He has his own great platform. He does great work with a camera. And Baxter the Bait Man is my producer and my camera guy for my television show, my regional television show. And Kevin has been so helpful. He has so much knowledge. We all give him such a hard time, but he really has a great knowledge of fishing. He knows what he wants to see through the camera lens. He does all the editing, and he's been a great help. The rest of it, I have a 15 and 16-year-old, Caroline and Max. Caroline films some of my little videos that I'll put up on Instagram and things like that for me, and she's going to start doing some editing for me as well. She's into the media world, and what a not better place to hire your own kid to get to work for you. So I am not the most technologically savvy, but I see the absolute need to get it done.
Yeah, we'd agree with that, Becky, because our kids, especially our older two, have taught us a lot in the social media world.
Yeah, even the little ones figured out
even the little ones.
They made movies this weekend. Just
at 8 and 10, they're doing better editing work than we could ever do. So. It's pretty amazing.
Right on a tablet.
On a tablet, yeah. I'm like,
Very
you can.
cool.
I looked at it. I'm like, can you do that on a tablet?
I had no idea.
Yeah, I had no idea.
So Mark, you would say Baxter's a master at what he does?
He is really good at what he does. He works all kinds of odd hours. His job is an evening job, so we have to really schedule in advance for us to get together, and then we'll try to knock out a couple of 3 shows in a couple of days. Then I'll send him off to his editing studio and let me get a view of what's going on from there. So he's without Kevin, I would be sunk.
There you have it, Brian. There you have it.
He's a master bait man.
He's a master. I want to remind everybody.
I didn't fall for that, Brian. I'm
I
sorry.
know, dang it.
He's always trying to get our guests to say inappropriate things.
That's all I had.
That's his job. It's to ruin the production and to bring up funny comedic moments like this. That's his job.
Yes.
Let me remind everybody, if you're watching and listening, of course, Mark Menendez joining us here on the show. If you've got a question or a comment, please hit us up on the IMs. Rizzo is going to patch them through. Riz, what do we got? I know we got some coming through Mark for Mark already.
Yeah, the first one I'm going to go with is from Sean Lay, and he wants to know, Mark, with your extensive knowledge and wisdom, how do you stay organized when presenting and logging it? Do you have a library, a notebook? How do you keep track of all this information?
Oh, good question.
This is going to be scary. I've done this so long and pulled so many different seminars together. I will sit down a couple of days before and write down bullet points, and it pulls me to old experiences, old funny things that happen, old patterns that are places and patterns where this all worked, whatever topic we're talking about. And it's actually all logged right here. About an hour's worth of work a couple of days before, and go over that 4 or 5 times. And it'll jog this old floppy disk memory of mine, and there you go. So
you hear that, Pete? It takes Pete like 3 years to prepare a seminar. You hear that, Pete?
It does. I don't know how you're able to keep it up there, man. It takes a long time for me.
Wow.
It just you've got those points you want to make, you've got those things you want to accentuate, and it just clicks in there for some reason. I don't know why.
Wow.
Well, you're excellent at it. There's no doubt. You know, the audience is captivated when you're speaking, and you are a really good teacher, whether it's genetic or not.
I'd agree with that.
I'd say a master.
I would too. Riz, what else we got coming?
Yeah, this is probably going to take him into another topic here, but Lisi wants to know, Mark, do you have an update on the war on carp that you are involved with?
We had this on our list, Pete,
Right?
as a question. Yeah.
Yeah, we're making great strides. I can't wait for us to conquer COVID so that I can get back to Capitol Hill and start ringing the chains of some of our lawmakers, our senators and congressmen.
Yeah.
I've been in front of about 60% of Senate and Congress at this point. And when you start talking about the economic loss, when you start talking about what this fish has destroyed as far as tourism, commerce, and business in the Kentucky Lake area, I can get somebody's attention really quick. We were lucky enough to put together 2 sums of money from bills to the tune of $45.1 million that Yamaha Right Waters helped me get up there and get in front of the right people. I don't take any of the credit for that, but just another push to get that money to us is all I was able to do. But we got to the right people, got that money through Congress, and we're seeing the benefits of that. This winter, there were 2 boats in the Paris landing area that netted for 2 days. How many pounds of carp did those 2 boats catch in 2 days, guys?
10,000.
What do you think, Mike?
I was going to say less. I was going to say a couple thousand.
Becky?
Beck?
I'm going 11,000.
Oh, yeah. I had to one-up Pete there.
I'm glad you 3 are sitting down. In 2 days, those 2 boats and 4 men caught 124,000 pounds.
Nice.
What?
Wait, how many fish is that?
Well, the average fish is between 8 and 20 pounds, so you do the math. A bunch.
A lot of fish.
Holy mackerel.
So It's a real prolific problem on what it does to the ecosystem. They grow so quickly, they get big enough that they outgrow what bass, stripers, crappie, white bass can consume. So then they don't really have any predators, but the apex predators being the giant catfish, because the giant catfish can eat them from 4 to 8 pounds. So then they just swim around free in the world, eating and getting fat and making babies. So that's the problem. Now, I will say on my way to Alabama, I drive behind Kentucky Dam and I drive behind Barkley Dam. We've had high water for the last little bit. And I noticed when I went over Kentucky Dam in the Tennessee River in the tailwaters, several dead fish floating. Now, below Kentucky and the Tennessee, it's probably 3/4 to almost a mile wide. So I see quite a few fish down there floating. Jogs my memory. I'm thinking about this, and I go over the Cumberland about 6 miles later, and there is a constant stream of dead fish. Several years ago, we had a bacteria buildup that only affected the Asian carp. It killed the 2 to 6 pounders. Didn't kill the big ones, but it wiped out masses of these fish. And I'm wondering if that's what's gone on here in the last little bit. Not a game fish was ever harmed during those deals. And I mean, the entire banks of Kentucky and Barkley, below the dam, above the dam, it smelled like death warmed over for about 3 weeks. So many millions of those fish died. So I'm hoping Mother Nature is kind of finding a way to put these things in their place and help us get rid of some of these. We've put in barriers below Barkley Dam, fish fence down there, been all kinds of research. And the good thing about all this money, guys, we got this money to our fish and wildlife people so they could do research. They didn't know life cycles. They didn't know how these fish fed. They didn't know how they bred, when they bred, what was the thing that triggered them to go and spawn.
Yeah.
So now we've got money for them, and they're starting to assimilate the knowledge to put the plan together to see how we can really put a dent in these darn things.
Wow.
We just need to put the algae everywhere.
Yeah, that bacteria. It's just another perfect storm kind of deal, but it wiped out a bunch of them. I hope, and it's happened several times below the dams and only once on the lake. So I'm hoping on the flip side of that, guys, we have had 3 incredible spawns in 14, 15, and 16, or 15, 16, and 17, however you want to look at it. Our threadfin shad, our gizzard shad came back. Crappie fishing has been off the hook this winter. Crappie in the 1.75 to 2.5 pounds being caught everywhere. And our bass population is unbelievable with the 14 to 17 inch bass in Kentucky Lake, both largemouth and smallmouth. I don't think the smallmouth guys were affected as much. So we have a beautiful population of those. And then we've got a little special critter called the spotted bass, which disappeared in the 90s because all the grass that came in and covered its spawning area. We're seeing good numbers of those little teacup mouths, big fat bellies, and about 14, 15 inches that are starting to weigh 3 pounds. And I'm really excited to see them back because Kentucky and Barkley Lakes, they were a world-class spotted bass fishery when I was a young man. I mean, it wasn't uncommon, guys, to catch a 5.5 to 6 pounder. So I am really, really excited about the future for Kentucky and Barkley.
Well, that's good because I remember in Beckett's one of the last times we were there too together. I remember it was when I fished bass, and I think we were staying at a campground there. The impact was bad. Mark, I remember some of the lodges closing. There were restaurants closing down. This is around Paris, so there was a really low point to this. But it sounds like things are getting better. Fishing's coming back. That's great news.
Well, people are using the lakes. They're learning that these things are not creatures of the night or whatever. They're learning to avoid them and stay away from them. They're not as active as they were as far as the jumping. It doesn't seem. I'm not hearing as many reports. But there are areas on the banks of Kentucky and Barkley Lakes in which it looks like a ghost town. It looks like a nuclear bomb went off because there are no businesses in lake.
Yeah.
There's not as many businesses up by the dam.
Yeah.
And it was in that 15 county community around the lakes, it was taking $15 million a month out of the economy there. So it was $180 million a loss a year. And my area is a very relatively rural area, and we just couldn't stand that. but it's coming back. And people are coming back to visit in our beautiful world with LBL and all the great things that we have to offer there. So it is nice to see some regrowth coming.
That's awesome. That's good news. That's good news. I like to hear that.
It's
That's
great
special,
news. And
special place.
I appreciate you keeping us up to date on it. I know you're real active in it, and hopefully you'll keep us updated when the DNR, what their plan is going to be. Now that they're involved in the research, I'm really interested on what steps they're going to take to try to handle this situation.
Yeah.
Well, the only bullet we've got, guys, is commercial fishing right now. It's netting these things and getting them out of the water. And the problem is we can only basically do this 6 months out of the year because we need cool water and cool air temperatures. These fish have a high histamine content in their body. So if they get hot, they actually will liquefy. The meat breaks down, everything breaks down. You have the skin and the skeletal system. And if you see one like that, it literally looks like it's just rippling in the water. So we can only take them for food and for other things when it's cool. End of October to the end of April is about all we've got. But we're working on many different ways. I have eaten them. They're very good. It's a very white, flaky, tasty meat. I've eaten them baked with capers on them. I've eaten them fried. I've eaten them in fish balls. So the only negative to the thing is its name. It's an Asian carp, and most people don't want to eat carp. It's being marketed as silverfin. So if you see that, buy one and eat it. And I promise you, it is very white, flaky meat, and it's tasty.
Silverfin.
Silverfin.
It's all about the marketing.
It's about the marketing. That's a great way to market it.
Putting lipstick on a pig.
Hey, Brian, he likes them fish balls. So I mean, just the silverfin fish balls.
I'd eat it.
Here's the thing.
I'd try it.
I haven't
It'd end
had,
up right in my frying pan.
Are you trying to be Dave over there?
Well, I haven't had. I haven't had the Asian carp, but I have had snakehead. And it's another exotic invasive, and snakehead are dynamite, Pete.
Really
dynamite, lovely. So I can.
Oh,
I
ate
get
it. Yeah, I tried it.
I get it. You know?
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Well, Mike, I would be remiss in not saying thank you to Yamaha and their efforts in right water.
Yes, round of applause to Yamaha.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's really cool to be associated and work for a group that's fighting for fishermen's rights. It's not only the Asian carp, it's the snapper problem, the recreational fishing licenses, and the creel limits that fishermen can catch in the Gulf. It's many different things that one of the biggest product developers and product makers in the marketplace today is concerned enough to spend resources and effort to make it better for everybody else. So I am just humbled to be a part of that.
Yeah, me too. Hats off to Yamaha.
The coral reef.
Yeah, coral reef
project.
Access issues.
They put a lot of time and money into the waterways.
They sure do.
That's good to hear.
And you got to do that. Companies have to do it. I'm so glad Yamaha's doing it. I want to switch topics real quick, Mark. And by the way, great year at Bass so far. 28th place right now in AOY. A few great events under your belt this year. Yeah, great year so far. Very nice. But I have to ask this, and you're one of the few guys we've had on the show since Pete. I guess the best way a lot of guys are saying is the big change.
Yeah, the
right?
split.
The split, the big change that happened, and of course, everyone knows MLF, sort of the defection that happened with a lot of guys, and you were one of the guys that stuck it out at Bass, right? You stood true to Bass, and as all this is unfolding, I look back at it, I think it was a great decision, right? It was a great decision. Your career has flourished. Your sponsors have flourished. You're having and it's where you cut your teeth. Talk to me a little bit about that, because you're one of the few guys we've had on that have stayed the course.
Well, it's an interesting situation. I had several of the guys in MLF talk to me about, be ready. We're going to ask you to come and whatnot. And I immediately said, I cannot do that.
Yeah.
I cannot do that. And they looked at me and said, well, you hear the incentive packages and what we're going to do. I said, I cannot do that. And they said, why? And I said, do you remember when my wife was fighting cancer and she was dying? These people kept me alive that I represent.
Yeah.
And they are mostly Bass sponsors. And I would first have to go and ask them for their grace to do something different. But I didn't feel like it was the right thing for me to do after all of the troubles that I had been through, fighting for life with cancer. I felt that I owed the people that helped me, I owed them to do the most I could. And exposure levels went sky high. I was one of the older guys, one of the guys with more experience, so more opportunities came for me. And then I just started catching them like nobody's business. And then that kind of gave me
You're
more
catching
exposure.
tens at St. John's like they're going out of style.
Like they're bluegill.
Yeah.
Like they're blugill.
If that old crusty guy that's the oldest guy on tour wasn't on the other side of the river over there from me, I might have won first.
That old crusty
Sorry,
guy.
Dick, I had
That
to
old
say
crusty
that.
guy. There he goes, right there. He's on the back.
You know, but it was a real easy decision for me based on what my sponsors had done for me in the past.
Yeah.
And it also allowed me, being one of the elder statesmen, to come in with management and make some things a lot better.
Yeah.
Make our payout different such that it reduced the risk of doing business with Bass. You know, getting that payout all the way down to 75th place, where, you know, it's not a lot of money, but you got $2,500 if you'd had a bad event. And that went a long way to helping these young guys maintain their place and continue their career. So I thought that was real important. Some rule changes and some venue changes and things like that. So it gave me a chance to really get close to management and work hand in hand with them and make it better for the guys on the Elite Series.
Yeah.
The other thing it did, and I really want to send out props to all the young guys. 30% of the Elite Series now are guys that have come through the Bassmaster college ranks. And these guys are unbelievable anglers. I mean, they can catch a fish out of a water bottle. But what's amazing about every one of these young guys and most of the new guys that came over, there's been at least 10 times in the last 3 years, guys, that I've been fishing an area or been up in the standings and I'm fishing a little neck down area with water behind it. Somebody wanted to go behind me and fish past that. They would pull up and ask, do you mind if I go past you and fish in the very back there? Or are you fishing the right side or the left side here, Mark? And can I come in here and fish the opposite side? I won't start my motor till I get 100 yards past you. Things that used to happen in the early 80s and 90s when I started fishing in the 90s came back. Etiquette, respect, human decency for each other. And then it became a big club with the 75 of us. Man, I ain't had that many 20-year-olds hassling me like I was grandpa ever in my life. So we all got really close and we all wanted to make it better. Now, don't think that we're not all serious competitors in there. It's cutthroat when it comes to how hard these guys work and how talented of anglers they all are.
Yeah.
So it has really changed, and that's one of the things I'm the most grateful for is the camaraderie, the friendship, and dude, I'm talking about high-fiving.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike, you always come to me when I've won an event. Pete, you too, and shake my hand. Great job this week. You killed me this week. I'll get you next week. And the three of us have always done that. It's never been an issue of an ego, and there's not a lot of egos out here. And it's very great.
I'd agree with that. I got to tell you, now that I've stepped away from it a little bit, I can speak my mind, and I'm a fan.
Now he can.
Well, no, I've always
like now it's acceptable.
No. I'm just saying I have always been a fan of the sport, but more so now because I'm not actively competing, right? Yeah. So I can look at it from a different, with different eyes. I can feel that through social media. Like, I scan through and I can see after, like Lee Livesey just won. Yeah. We had him on BU, right? And he was great. And it was a great win to watch him.
Yeah.
But I look through my social feed and I see half of the elite field commenting,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
congrats, Lee. And what you're saying, I can feel it through the postings. And I don't see that as much in other leagues. I'm not saying it's not there. I don't see it or feel it.
We also don't see Mark Menendez anymore.
That's okay.
He was frozen for a little bit.
Oh, he's frozen. That's
Just
okay.
dropped off. He'll jump back in.
He'll jump back in. But I honestly, I feel what he just said. I do feel that.
Yep.
I do feel that. I do feel like
prepaid card.
There's some weird, a better camaraderie over there. It does feel like that. To me.
It's like the kayak world. That's what it feels like to me, or it seems like.
Right.
Like, you know how the kayak guys.
Don't put that on them.
Well, they're having a party. They're out there. They're picnicking.
Don't put that on them.
They're having picnicking.
It's a brotherhood. They're enjoying it.
I like to picnic.
That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. No,
It seems like fun, friendliness. You know?
For sure, absolutely, and but I think that's all just a cycle of it, right? At some point, there's going to be a lot of success. Of course, it's just a natural trend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But are these just all just like superhumans, and others weren't? No, it was just a lot of success. Actually, it's just the more familiarity that you have with the person. It's like a playoff series. When you play somebody 7 times in a row, by the end of it, you hate them.
Right.
And you played them in a while, it ain't no big deal. So it's
right.
So you kind of think, well, it sounds like these guys are all new.
A lot of new.
They're all
a
thrilled,
lot of freshness.
thrilled and excited to be there.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
The jealousy hasn't set in yet. The you cut me off in the last tournament, now I'm going to pay you back. All that kind of stuff that builds
It'll
up.
build.
It's not quite there yet.
It's not there yet.
Correct. It'll build.
Okay, and let's be honest. If 30% of them came out of the college rankings,
they're younger guys.
They're younger. They're not married. They don't have kids. They don't have the pressures of you better bring home a check or baby don't eat. You know what I mean? Like
that's true.
There's stress that comes as you get older.
Yeah.
There's pressures and everything that kick in.
Well, we have Mark back, and I wanted to go back and ask you. So it sounds like to me what you were saying is things are better at Bass now, and it sounds like that the anglers have more of a say. And I think I want you to just reiterate that, because I think one of the major reasons all that stuff happened in the beginning, right? The reason that MLF happened and the defection happened is guys were dissatisfied with their ability to have a voice at Bass. Are things better? Do guys have a better voice now at Bass?
I think so, Mike. I think almost every elite angler in the field has Chase Anderson and Bruce's telephone number. We can call them at any time. I've never felt that freedom as easily before. I can have an absolute grievance and go to them and talk to them about it, and we can get to a solution. Or I will get the reason why my idea may not be the best idea for this, this, and this. And that's great to have open dialogue. Yeah. Anytime you can have open dialogue, it ratchets down the pressure and the frustrations, and you can talk like adults, get things figured out, and then move forward for the best way for the group. And it's just been a breath of fresh air. I can't impress upon you how much. And then with the broadcast and the media numbers that I'm getting, that I get directly from them, it's out of the park. Yeah. I mean, it's just incredible how far at Bass we're pushing the sport forward and getting Mark Menendez's name out there, or Patrick Walters, or Drew Cook. These are all guys that aren't even 25 years old, so. And it's also good not to be the oldest guy out there too.
It's not going to happen.
Speaking of that,
I'm 6th oldest.
So Pumbaa's Ghost on the message board wants to know which circuit is going to bring on Preparation H first as a sponsor. Bassmaster.
It won't be ours.
Bassmaster, MPFL, or that league that Boyd runs.
I don't know. That's a funny question. It does bring up a second question, though. Yeah.
Didn't Russ Lane have a
Russ Lane had hymns.
Yeah.
Russ Lane had hymns over at MLF.
I don't even know what hymns is.
Hymns is like a generic Viagra.
Dick pills.
Yeah, they're dick pills. It's okay. I mean, I think some people need that, so it's fine. But
I was embarrassed to Google it and have it stay in the history on my computer. So I never looked it up.
The government's gonna find that out that you've researched hymns.
Like I felt like I was putting in something so inappropriate. like I was. Never mind. Let's move on.
All right, let's move on.
You were worried about that?
Yeah, don't worry about that. It does bring up a second.
The kids are on my computer and my phone. Could you imagine? I didn't know what it was going to come up
We'll
as.
bring in experts to wipe it clean. They'll never know.
Busco said they're dick tacs.
Yeah. It does bring up another question. I want to ask you real quick, Mark, and I just thought of it because of that question that came through, which is, and I want to hear your opinion on it. Are there too many leagues now, right? Because it seems like, we've got BASS, we've got MLF, we've got FLW,
MPFL.
which sort of MLF, we've got MPFL. I heard about this other one, the Apex.
Oh, the Apex League.
Starting out west.
Out west. West.
So is it bad that all these leagues are starting up? What's your opinion on that, Mark?
Well, when we were young, and I won my first tournament at Pickwick, the first top 100 tournament. We didn't have another tournament or another big tournament going on for another month or so. Right. So all the media kind of hyped for another month.
Yeah.
Then it went to 2 leagues, and so it was kind of an every other week thing. So you were the hot topic every other week. And now we're all fishing on top of each other, where we may have 3 of the 4 leagues fishing. So it all kind of waters it down. So I don't know that it's a bad thing, guys. I think it's great to give other anglers some other opportunities to fulfill their desires and what they may want to do, and in a big money situation. So I think that's yet to be determined, Mike, if there's too many.
Yeah, I agree. I'm mixed with it, Pete. We've had the conversation before. I like that there's leagues to give guys new opportunities, but I think for the sport to reach its highest level, it could, if we want to ever get to be a mainstream sport, there's got to be one league, the league, So I got mixed emotions.
That they all get to.
They all get to.
I mean, I think it's great that fishing and tournament fishing is so popular that there's this many leagues. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it gives people an opportunity. But I think that pyramid has to start settling as to like, where do you enter? Where do you go next? Where, you know what I mean? Up to the top.
And
like
it
needs to.
And you've been a critic, Beck. I'm going to throw you under the bus here.
No.
You've been a critic of leagues calling their anglers professionals, right? You think it dilutes it.
It very much upsets me.
Okay.
Very much upsets me. Because in no other sport, if you can pay an entry, are you a professional? You have to work your way up.
Right.
This is personal.
So you don't just add that to your Instagram and you're pro? That's not how it works?
No. If you wrap your boat and you wear a jersey, you're not a pro just because you can pay to be a pro. It's not.
That was FLW forever.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just generally saying. For me, I
don't disagree with you.
It kills me because there's guys who have killed themselves to get to this level, to be the top of their sport. They've sacrificed so much. They had to go through the ranks. They had to qualify to this, to this, to this. Yeah. And you diminish what those guys did to get to that professional level by saying, well, now we got a tournament trail, and as long as you can pay the bill, you a pro.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Well,
that's my opinion. I'm sorry.
That's a valid opinion, and we've wrestled with that. We were talking about having a pro card. Establishing some criteria so that you would have a pro card. I remember Dave Wolak was a big, strong proponent of that.
That's such a Wolak thing. I'm so glad you said his name, but he was always very adamant that there's a way of doing things.
Yeah. Some way to separate yourself. Yeah. But all that being said, and I agree with you, like that I think there needs to be the top pro tour. Last week sucked for me. There was no live bass fishing on the internet. I mean,
you were bored.
Hey, it was a great week for me. Pete worked.
You were bored. Pete actually worked that week. That's right.
It sucked. I mean, you're like, you can't update stuff. You can't. You're not watching them. I mean, I love it.
I love it. I love it. I think Bassmaster's doing a great job. I think they're all doing a good job. But I like Mark. I had so much fun watching you down on the St. John's. Yep. It's exciting. It's fun. They're doing a great job on the coverage. Let me remind everybody, if you're watching, we've got, of course, Mark Menendez on. If you've got a question, please send them through the Riz. But I do have a couple I want to catch up on from our social media. Mark, real quick. And these are BU questions. These are tackle questions, which is okay. And you just filmed with the Tackle Warehouse guys. Good friend of all of ours, Corey and Daniel. You guys had fun. I know. They told me some of the stories. I know about the crawfish. I know about all that stuff. You guys had a great shoot.
Who's this Daniel guy?
Yeah, I don't know. He was.
I don't.
He was. Yeah, he was under the weather the day that you fished with.
That's Brian's fault.
That's Brian's fault.
Yeah, I held him down and made him drink beer.
But these are Tackle Warehouse type questions, and the first one comes from Clay. Wants to know. This is over on Instagram, I think. Mark, do you ever pull the skirt off the Thunder Cricket? YouTube. Mark, do you ever pull the skirt off the Thunder Cricket to put a soft plastic on?
Absolutely, I do. And I'll put about 3 different things. One would be a rage swimmer, a swim bait that I'll have naked on there.
Cool.
The other one being the one that I like the best, and it's kind of crazy, but I put a game hog on the back of it. Creature bait on the back of it, particularly when I'm around a lot of bluegill. That's the one I go to, and when I'm around a lot of shad or razor minnow. But the game hog I put on the back of a Thunder Cricket probably 90% of the time.
Huh. Why would you put? In what conditions would you pull the skirt off to just put a plastic on?
Friday night.
Is it water clarity? Is it temperature? Is it season?
Pressure.
Drinking.
Pressure would be one, either high pressure or fishing pressure. Forage is the other. That game hog looks like a dang bluegill on there. It's bigger, it's wider, it pushes more. There's more stuff moving on there. And I actually learned that out in the California Delta the last time we were out there. That made a huge difference for me to get a check out there fishing a bladed jig like that. So that's the one that I really, really hone in on. And then if I need more speed with it, you can fish the bait that way.
Yep, that makes sense. And then another good one, and I think I'll know the answer to this, but I'm going to wait till you say it. We've got Sean wanting to know, Mark, what baits are you most excited about that Strike King has just launched or is working on?
Dude, you got to get you a hybrid hunter.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
I've got a pond in my front yard, Mike. It's a little 1/4 acre pond, and those are the smartest bass in Western Kentucky because everything new that comes out gets thrown in there.
Yeah.
And they're hard to catch. It's clear water, hard to catch. So I got 4 hybrid hunters about a year ago. And so I'm throwing it. Looks like a plug. I'm throwing it and winding it in. It's got a big, wide wobble and a obnoxious rattle in it. And I am not getting not a bite one. It's overcast. The wind's blowing. So I fire that thing out there. I throw it in the wind. And guess what happened? I threw a backlash. So that bait's sitting out there and I get my backlash out. I reel it in and pop it one time and it pops up back in the water real fast. Kind of like an old bangalore kind of way it jumped back there. So I popped it about twice more. I've got 2 4-pounders that live in this pond, and here comes one of them, and he kills it. I'm like, well, how about that? I got a new topwater bait. So I keep throwing this thing, playing with it, and I get a little piece of moss on it, so I jerk it about twice, and this thing does like a jerk bait in the shape of a big bluegill. And I see the other 4-pounder coming, and it train wrecks it. So I have fished this thing under various conditions. Corey and Daniel got a real good lesson on the Hybrid Hunter Jr. on one of our vlogs that we shot on Lake X. And it is
look at Sneaky Pete over there trying to order them.
Yeah, Mark Pete's ordering them right now.
As we speak. Look at them.
They're back ordered on TW, so you're going to have to get in line, Pete.
Way to be late to the game there, Peter.
We'll get you some gizzard shad or green gizzards, get you some golden blacks and a chrome and blue, and you'll be set, Pete.
Well, none of us are going to get them.
It's a cool bait, Mike. I mean, it's so neat to be able to do multiple things with one bait because we all carry too much crap in the boat with us. I've looked at your boat, Mike. If you took all that stuff out of there, it'd run 55 miles.
It's probably true.
But it's so neat. I threw it a bunch at Fork, and watching it come back on live scope, it was getting down in the 9-foot range. It blew me away. I thought it would only go 3 or 4 or 5. It would come back, and you'd see it come back up from about 9 feet. So it's going to be a player.
Wow.
That lip doesn't look like it's possible.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
No. Well,
what I thought, Pete. But the Coach showed me 9 foot on multiple casts.
On the
I'm
big
like,
one.
Wow.
The big
On the
one,
big one.
yeah, on the big body, the lip is it's considerably bigger than the junior.
Yes.
But cool bait.
Yep.
I know Brian it pained Brian the Carpenter that you just said that.
Yeah,
because the
you
word
just
here.
assured further that we're never going to get our hands on.
Well,
they're already extremely hard to get.
That's all right.
They're
We'll get
hard
some.
to get right.
Don't worry about
Very
it.
hard.
We'll get some. I did want to step back real quick and talk about Corey and Daniel. Dude, we have such a good time with them every time they're here. Mark, aren't they like an old married couple together?
I mean, they're like, what was that fishing movie with Gustafson and Jack Lemmon?
Grumpy Old Men. Yeah.
That's who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take the marriage out of it, and they're grumpy old men. But they're absolutely the best at what they do. The hard part's keeping a fishing rod out of their hands. They're quite capable fishermen too. But man, they're just so fun to work with, and the quality of the things that they do, they make us look like we know what the hell we're doing, whether we do or. And just a lot of fun to work with them and just to hang out with them. It's great to hang with them. I get them about 3 days a year, and then I ship them up to you, and hopefully I'll wear them out so they'll calm down so they don't work you as hard.
They were supposed to get a day off here. They scheduled it so that they were going to leave from your place and come here and have a day off. And then they went out partying with you the night before they got here. So then they were sort of tired. They got here, and the day they were supposed to rest, Brian the Carpenter drug them up to do some swim bait fishing.
They wanted to go fishing.
They wanted to go fishing, so they lied to themselves that they wanted the day off.
They're so funny, though, because they've been coming for so many years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm known for my sparkling, sweet personality, not scary or intimidating.
Not at all.
Everyone loves me. I don't mean to be intimidating. But anyways, I love having people here. But I have people who've won and done themselves because I love to be hospitable, come in my home, but when you come in my home, like I've got kids, I've got this, I've got chaos, you're part of the family. Corey and Daniel are totally part of the family, and when they leave, they leave like their family. You know what I mean? Like their sheets are off the bed. Like I don't even have to ask. They take the trash out.
They were doing dishes for crying out loud the one night.
Dishes. If the kids need to read a book, like one of them will be like, I'll read with you, or you want to play a video game? Like, you know what I mean? They're always just part of the family.
Yeah.
I love them to death.
Yeah.
I have to tell this funny story on them, though. So one day they were here. We had to go pick up our new camper, and we had some issues with the truck, not the camper. And we were delayed a little bit.
Yeah.
And I told the kids, just in case, mommy and daddy aren't, they're on time to get you off the bus, because they won't let the kids off the bus in elementary school. The parent has to be there.
Right.
I said, Corey and Daniel are here. Like, they'll just get you off the bus. And Stella looks at me. She goes, what am I supposed to tell the bus driver? And I'm like, she's 8.
I can see her doing that.
And I'm like, this is Corey and Daniel. They're getting me off the bus. They're our friends. And she's like,
not gonna fly,
Mom, not sure about this. And I'm like, this is Corey and Daniel from California. They're our friends. As I'm saying this, I'm like, this is not gonna go well. Can you imagine? Like, these are our friends from California, these two men. Like, this is like, so I'm like,
Corey's the bear.
You'd be getting the call. Your kids now have to quarantine for 15 days.
I know. So thank goodness Miss Carol, who is our CFO, was present in the building, and she got the kids off the bus, so we didn't have to explain that one to the bus driver.
That would have been super awkward. Riz, let's catch up with a few IMs, and then I know we're nearing the time. We're going to let Mark go. He's got a big event coming up. What do we got, Riz?
Yeah, I actually got one for you, Mike, coming from Michael Blackburn on Facebook, and he's peppering me with this. He really wants to know about a Hobie release that you could potentially have coming down the pipe. Is there anything that we could spill the beans on there?
We know nothing about this. I've got a question for Mark. Mark, I am so
okay. We're not answering that one.
I need to give you props because you touched on it a little bit, and you had some really tough times with Donna getting sick and everything. And I applaud you for saying, I need to go home. I need to be with my family. And tell us now, like, how are the kids? Like, I can't believe you said they're 15 and
That's
16 because
crazy.
I still
Yeah.
remember you having little kids.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like it's been so long since I've seen you out there. And, I mean, Max was like this tall. So, I'm like, so how are they now? What's going on? I mean, all these years later, like, how is it to kind of like single parent and the kids obviously support you. They're doing videos for you. That's
cool.
really amazing.
Yeah, that's super cool.
I have two amazing children. They lost their mother at 8 and 9 years old. And we formed a bond that I don't know that we would have reached otherwise. I don't know that we would have been this close, Becky, otherwise. Yeah. Now, you said Max was this tall. He's now this tall. He's 5 inches taller than me. His foot.
Wow.
He loves to play airsoft with all his buddies. He is my designated driver. Bought an old skeeter boat last fall when I got hurt, and that's his boat now, and he loves to drive and fish a little bit. He's a trap shooter. We have trap shooting at school, so he shoots trap competitively, going to the state tournament again. Caroline, my 16-year-old daughter, is an artist exactly like her mother was. It's incredible the things that she does. She's a musician. She plays the acoustic guitar, the electric bass, and she is scary on a violin. So they are growing and becoming their own little people. Life has changed, Becky. Life is changing. I am engaged to be married in October the 23rd.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Chaos getting ready to come. I get 5 more children.
Whoa.
So we'll have a family of 7. That's the Brady Bunch plus 1.
Wow.
The unique thing about this, Becky, is my fiance, Melissa, lost her husband 7 days before I lost Donna.
Wow.
And months later, a mutual friend introduced us together. I was talking to Julie about grief and these things. Melissa was talking to her, and she says, you guys need to meet. And we both immediately said, no, I don't want a love connection, Julie. She goes, no, you all are talking the same language. So we talked that language for about 2 years and became very close friends and got involved with each other's lives in support kind of way. And then all of a sudden the man took over in me, Becky, and I went, golly, she is gorgeous. She's beautiful. She's fun. She's smart. She's a ferocious mother. She's got great faith in things. And then I think about all the things that she's helped me through. And I love her, Becky. I love her, but I really do like her. We're great friends. And she gets to come to some of the tournaments. She's 5'2". She's an exercise instructor. So she's gotten me off the couch pretty good and got me in better shape. And she's just a magnificent person. I hold the lake at the record at Lake X, where we do all the filming with Tackle Warehouse and all. I'm the only guy that's ever gotten engaged on that lake. So the Smith family was, Jay was kind of disappointed that I took that record, but I'm excited for what life brings. Her children are from 23 to 9. Her oldest is an ICU nurse that got out of college, COVID hit, and she's on the front line. She was one of the first individuals in the country to get the COVID shot. Anna's a brilliant, compassionate, smart young woman. She has a 20-year-old sophomore at UK, a 17-year-old junior in high school, a 15-year-old junior in high school, and a 9-year-old. And Sam is he is a wonderful 9-year-old kid that's just full of life and energy. And I'm an only child. So seeing all this inner family chaos that goes on with all these siblings, I'm all in, guys. And I'm lucky to have her in my life. And I'm really excited about what the future holds.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Very happy to hear that.
You know, Mike's an only child too. And when we get everyone together, he just sits back like with fear in his eyes. He doesn't understand what's happening.
I know. I didn't have that. I didn't have that big group dynamic, not through siblings, So it's interesting. I did a lot of talking to myself as a child, so that explains things as well. I yelled to myself. I did.
A lot of yelling to yourself.
Yeah. Mark, before we let you go, I did have one last thing I wanted to call you and Pete to the plate on, and I'll start with Pete, I'll start with you, and I'm going to put you on the spot. You guys have known each other for a long time. You've fished together. You may or may not have roomed together once or twice. I don't know if that's true.
Mark would know.
But give me one story about Mark that's a good, give me something good, a funny story, anecdote, a tournament scenario that nobody knows about. Give me one good thing about Mark. And then, Mark, I want to ask you one thing about Pete that we don't know about. Pete, you start.
Oh, man. I don't know. You're putting me on the spot
Okay,
here.
Mark, you start.
Well, I remember Pete early when Pete got to Bass early and got to the top 150 level. And he was having a real good tournament at, I forgot the name of the lake in Georgia.
Sinclair.
Sinclair. And he was in the running to win that thing, had a great third day and put himself in the position. And I just remember Pete looking like Casper the Ghost when he got off the stage. When he realized he had a chance to win, he was just like, holy moly, I can win tomorrow.
Pete's ghost.
Casper Pete.
He was just up, so had lots of conversations about sponsorship and how to keep things going and things like that with Pete. So one of the good guys that I miss not getting to see very often. So we had a lot of fun back in those days.
That's a good story because I've always viewed you as confident and like dead set, like telling yourself, I'm gonna win.
What?
And And
that's what he tells himself when he's sleeping.
Yeah, when you're sleeping, I know.
I'm gonna win this tournament.
I'm gonna. Yeah, you curse a lot too in your sleep.
Dean Rojas, get out of my way.
Yeah, Dean Rojas, I hate you. And here's Mark telling us that you had self-doubt and you were scared at that event. That's an interesting story.
Yeah, well, I remember a lot of things about that tournament, but I was surprised. I'm like, that was one of the first tournaments. I'm like, oh man, this is easy.
Should have never thought that, brother.
Yeah, this in for a rude awakening, but it's super tough. But I remember, like you said, I was from the north. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any connections.
You're from Jersey. Everyone hated you just because you were from Jersey.
And I guess it was hard to break into circles, and but Mark just made it easy. He was a friend.
That's awesome.
He was a friend from jump.
Yeah.
And I don't remember meeting you, Mark. I just remember always knowing you, and I remember being able to ask him honest questions because I didn't have anybody.
Yeah.
There was nobody to mentor you.
That's nice.
But you want to say, dude, like a sponsor wants to do this. What should I do? Or the other guys are handling. Or how do you practice? Or there was nobody to talk to.
Right.
But I could talk to Mark, and he was
awesome,
a friend from jump.
That's great.
Well, I think it's the first question I ever asked him. I said, "So you're from Jersey, right?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "What exit?" And the typical joke, I know. And then we just hit it off from there, and it was easy. Pete was so easygoing. He did his own thing. He never followed the leaders around. And I know Pete yielded to some leaders on some days back in the day when he was fishing the areas with some of the leaders and things like that. And that's what you had to do to get the credibility. So that dude from Jersey, he's not a bad guy. He may be a Yankee, but he's not a bad guy. So,
that's awesome.
So
that's how.
You figure those kind of people out pretty quick in life, and people you can trust and people you like to be around, people that like to laugh like you guys do. What a great commodity to have anymore. Laughter makes the world go round.
Yeah. Speaking of laughter, I got to ask, because I haven't seen or heard from him in such a long time. Are you still friends with Fish? What's Fishburne up to these
Brian
days?
Carpenter, I know you want to know too.
Let's hear it.
Well, Fishburne lives in East Tennessee on Cherokee Lake. I don't know whether he's in a straitjacket or not at this point.
I think he is. Because
I don't get to see him as often as I used to. He works the Skeeter Owners tournaments and does a lot for Bass Champs. And spending a lot of time in Texas, back and forth, working on things like that. But we had some great times. There's no doubt about it. We had a lot of fun in fishing, a lot of fun in life, hanging out. And I wish I could see him more than I get to see him now, but life is just taking me in another direction.
Well, what's his phone number? Because the ones I got, he ain't answering.
Brian, don't think you're special because he doesn't answer any of our phone calls.
Yeah, he must be. That straight jacket.
When he needs something, he calls.
I like it though. I like the challenge here of finding fish to get him on the show, Brian. Come on, don't give up on this.
I like people that answer their phone.
I know you do, but I
I'm
like
pretty freaking busy too.
I like
fish.
the challenge.
Oh, what are you fishing? You're so busy fishing.
No.
No, but I respect someone who's
I do too. Turn it off for a while.
No
right?
thanks.
Yeah, just turn the crappy cell phone
No,
off.
I respect somebody that says no thanks and not just ignores you.
Well, I don't know. I like the challenge here. I like the challenge here.
Well, I'm not a fan.
I want to.
Maybe if I talk enough trash, he'll answer.
Mark,
it's probably the jersey in you he's hiding from.
Well,
it could be.
It's coming out.
Mark, we've all got a little tin cup here, and we wanna toast you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yes.
Amazing stories tonight, and you've got a great life story, great example to a lot of fishermen out there, and we wish you the best in the rest of the Elite Series. I got a sneaky suspicion you might win one this year. I don't know. I got a good feeling. I just feel like you're fishing hot. You're fishing good. I see a W.
Your
coming.
mind's in a great place.
Your mind's in a good place.
Yeah, life's in a great place. It's fun again, and that's when anglers get dangerous, when it's fun, and it has become fun. I still don't like the travel. I don't want to be away from all the kids. I don't want to be away from Melissa, but it's part of what I still have to do. And it has become fun again. And I'm enjoying every day on the water. So thank you guys so much for having me. It's great to see you all. And why don't you just do a couple of those shots?
Yeah, we're all holding it.
Yeah, I think we're going to just do one tin cup shot tonight.
I got one more question for you after this.
Cheers to you, Mark.
Cheers.
Salute.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, man. There you have it. Mark Menendez.
Mark Menendez.
Everybody.
Weight prediction for Neely Henry.
Oh. Last question. All right. Weight prediction for Neely Henry.
Well, it's been a while since I've been here. This is where I qualified for my first classic in '97. And I fished a couple of the old PAAs here and did really well in them. I'm going to say it's not going to take as much as what you think. I'm going to say it's going to be somewhere between 50 and 52 pounds. Somebody's going to catch a big stringer and then put together 3 moderate stringers and hang on to win the tournament in some fashion like that. It's we're kind of in a strange time. Fish populations seem to be down here a little bit from what Matt Herron, what the local competitor here, has told me. And so it's going to be a mix. It's going to be a spotted bass plus a largemouth mix. It's one species not going to dominate the other. You have to figure out how to catch 3-pounders in both.
There you have it. I like it. A change up from Fork, where everyone was catching giants, to a little bit of a challenge tournament. I like that.
Well, I mean,
we remembered a great story.
Now you do.
It was the shot.
It wasn't the shot that brought his brain to life.
Tin Cup inspired it.
Tin Cup inspired question.
Yeah. Neely Henry was where I qualified for my first classic in '97.
Wow.
And I have a picture of you and me with Ray Scott wearing our tuxes. Which was black tie. You remember the black tie at the classic?
That was so.
What was that, Mark?
That was so much fun when we'd go to those black tie events. It was just it really took the excitement of a classic to another level.
Yeah, you know? they were the good old days.
Yeah.
They were the good old days. I didn't get to experience that. Like, as I got in, the Ray era was leaving. You know, so. But I remember the formal banquets and Beck.
Yeah, there was like a lull where
there
it
was
got
a lull.
Very informal, and then it started to come back
remember,
up.
like, after a while, it started going down and down. And I remember the one I can't remember where it was at, but
Gerald Swindle wore denim.
yeah, everybody was wearing jeans, and I can't remember that.
No,
but,
G's suit was legit denim.
Yeah,
like, it
like
was
a
like
denim
a
suit.
jacket.
Yeah, Swindle had a denim suit, and I remember looking at Beck, and I'm like, man, these things really went downhill. Like man, Becky were like, I wish they were like that again, because it was. That is special.
That was Ray Scott's genius. And
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
you both share in like the events side of things. It's something powerful happens when you have a big event, you know. And Ray was, I mean, it was black tie.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I'm gonna post that pic and I'll send it to you, Mark. But
I can't wait to see it.
It's Ray Scott in the middle, and he's flanked by you on one side and me on the other.
Wow, that's awesome.
In tuxedos.
That's a beautiful, scary picture that I'd like to see.
I bet you $100 bill that neither one of us can fit in either one of those.
I'm not taking that bet because I agree with you.
So Ray felt the Yankee invasion coming. He got out. Huh?
Yeah.
Gluszek, no, I can Ellie, I'm out of here.
Yeah, he got out.
Yeah, Ray had some disparaging things to say about New Jersey. Often when I
Of
came
course
across
he did. Of course.
You had to love him. He could offend everybody, but just everybody
Yeah, but
laughed
he-
and had a good time.
You were allowed to
know?
back then.
Yeah, and he walked that fine line of being funny and offensive. It was a fine line, you know.
Nobody could do it like that.
No, that was great.
Well, we also didn't have the cancel culture back then,
We
where
did not.
you were
It's a
allowed
different
to
world. You're right.
poke
You're
at
right.
people.
It was before feelings.
Before feelings, yeah.
We all have too many now.
Yeah, we do. Mark, I can't thank you enough for joining us on the show. Thank you for coming on Ike Live, and wish you a lot of luck this week and the rest of the season.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Let's not make it so long to the next time. I'll get in good cell service from now on. I promise. But thank you, guys. Thanks for reminiscing. It's been a good time. Keep up the work, and we will keep the Yamaha Right Waters thing moving forward and doing our dead level best to make as much noise to make it better for all of our fishing friends.
That's right.
Let us know how we can help, Mark.
Yes.
When a message needs to be put out there, let us know.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
We can do that, and all of our listeners and all of our watchers, they can contact their congressman and just write them a one paragraph letter saying, what are you doing about invasive species? There's 189 different invasive species, terrestrial and aquatic, that we're worried about. And there's all kinds of information out there. But go and rattle the chains of these lawmakers. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, I promise you. I rattled a lot of them, threatened a lot of them. You better do something or we're really going to be in a bind on this. And it seemed to help do that. So that's what we can all do. Everybody buy their fishing license. Money goes to different places there that help us on this issue as well. So that's a lot of the things we can do. But just continue, state, local, and federal lawmakers, stay on them, and we'll work at this, because fishermen, it's a big group. It's 53 million fishing licenses a year, and that's a powerful group. If we get together on a particular topic, we can make some noise and do some good. So if you want to watch a few of my shows, Mike, you can go to Mark Menendez Bass TV on YouTube. Got a couple of my shows on there, so I want everybody to do that if they can. And just thanks for having me, guys. Great to see you. Great to reminisce. And I'm going to go to bed here and get up in the morning and be on the Coosa River. So catching some of those crazy Coosa River spotted bass.
There you have it.
Go win that tournament.
Yeah, go win it. Mark Menendez, everybody.
Mark.
Yes. Thank you, Mark.
Bye.
Man, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Great stories. I'm glad you brought that Ray one up at the end too. That was a perfect exclamation point on a great segment with him.
That picture stands out to me. I know, like I said, him and I became friends so early, and it was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool. I honestly I can I came in at a little later time, but it wasn't any easier for me in the beginning. So I had you, which was cool. You know what I mean? But I remember the I don't want to say resentment, but I remember the push from people because we were geographically from a different area, and I remember that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's great to hear that he accepted you. He accepted you.
It was. He was from Kentucky, and he was great. And but there was so much that we had to overcome at that time because the social media didn't exist.
Right.
Remember?
Right.
And it was like, it was all the big, the Denny Brower, the Rick Clun, you couldn't get your name in print.
Right.
You couldn't.
It was all print back then.
Yeah.
All print.
And
And you had to be in good graces with the writers, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And they were so picky. Like, I love all those guys, like, talking about historically those guys, like Tim Tucker, rest in peace, Louis Stout, like all those guys. Jay Kumar at the time before he went crazy and started Bass Fan and all
But
that
Jay
stupid stuff.
was a dream for us.
For us, because he was a New Jersey guy.
Yeah, and he would cover us
Yeah.
and write about us.
Yeah.
And that was
Back when
awesome.
Jay would write about us.
Right, right. Right. Jay doesn't want anything to do with us now, right?
Well, we're from
Even
New
Jersey,
That's
even
right.
Jay hates Jersey people.
That's right, and we worship the devil, which is not a good thing. So, but yeah, it was tough.
We don't
It was tough.
actually.
No, we don't. That was a joke.
It was a joke.
Yeah.
This is Mike doing jokes.
Yeah. Rough ones.
This is Mike
Yeah.
doing jokes.
Nobody will get it.
Go ahead, Mike.
But it was tough. It was tough.
Oh my
yeah.
God,
And it
so
was a different world. You're right. It was
Yeah.
a print world back then.
It was all
Yeah.
print, and
Yeah.
it was so hard to like break in because Denny was the flipping guy, and Biffle kind of was moving in on that.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you had Fritz. Fritz in his heyday. You
Yeah.
started. Yeah. We know Fritz for his flat side now, but in his heyday, like unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
And
Yeah.
such a force. And
Yeah.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't get anything past Kevin, and Jay was trying to be Kevin, you know, and but he kept getting beat by. It was so hard to break through and like get somebody to say, hey, you know, I almost won Lake St. Clair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You think it's easier now?
You got a little blip. Yes.
Because of digital, because of social media,
Because
and
of,
digital
because of
content?
social media, your voice is heard, and the consumer gets to decide. Back then, the writers and the publishers decided. Right now, the consumer makes the
Well,
choice.
and if you have the smarts to show that you've got some sort of personality, then they're going to pick up on it. And they're like, if you feed into, you know, what everybody wants now, like everybody wants the excitement or somebody different or someone with a story. Like if you give them that, then they're going to eat it right up.
Yeah, I mean, the opportunity's there, right, Pete? I mean, it's like not that it's necessarily easier. You just have to put in the work, but the opportunities are there.
Yeah, the
You know?
opportunities weren't there
Right.
in our early part of the career.
still
It
gotta-
just
you still
wasn't
gotta
there.
do the
Didn't
dang work.
exist.
Yeah.
You know, but now, yeah, you have as much chance as anybody else. And honestly, pros are getting beat up by guys that will never be pro. You know, in that realm of social media, you know, they're getting crushed by guys that just
Careful.
that have millions of followers.
Right.
Careful.
Right.
You know,
Sean Lay on the board wants to know: did you guys, at the beginning of your career as Yankees, did you make more friends or enemies?
It's damn Yankees, Sean.
As damn Yankees, did you make more friends or enemies when you were breaking into the scene? And is it better to try and make friends or just kick down the door and
Great question.
it is.
You know,
It's a
and
great
take who's
question.
going to go for you or
Wow.
not?
That's a great question. I want to hear
Sean Lay.
I want to hear your answer to that, Sean. Great question.
Yeah.
I would say I don't think we made more enemies, but I think a lot of people had an opinion of the sport and who should be participating in it, you know, and you know, it's easy to judge somebody when you don't know them, you know, and I think a lot of that was going on.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people saw that you were from New Jersey and you were having some success, and it's very easy to say, we don't want him here, you know, without knowing you. And I think a lot of that happened to me as well, you know. So I don't know who you blame for that. I don't think it's right, you know. But I remember, and I've said this before, I remember wanting to fit in. Like I remember even before I qualified for the elites, I remember through the opens and stuff saying, how can I be a part of this group, right? Because there was a push, you know, and I felt it. What can I do? You know, I need to look like these guys. I need to do what these guys do. I remember that. I vividly remember that. And not to throw religion into it, but I remember like the whole, you know, Christian Angler, you know, they'd have like meetings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, and like it was, the push was so relevant to me that I'm like, oh, well, maybe if I go, You know, and I went to church and stuff. It's
Dave,
not like
Dave went to those prayer meetings before the event just to try to get extra
free sausage.
No, maybe Jesus hook him up. With some spots.
No, but
he said that before.
No, I no. And it wasn't about that for me. It was
wasn't
about
Dave.
It was about like, what can I do to help me fit into this group where I would be accepted, you know? And like that's to feel like that, to feel like that you have to do stuff to fit in, to be accepted. That's not right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know who to blame for that, but that wasn't right. You know?
I don't. Well.
It's like natural, when you're going to do something new, like you feel like in order to succeed in it, like you got to be like the people that are doing it well, because obviously they're doing something right.
Right.
You know.
Right. And then in my case, I can tell you this too, and I'm glad we're bringing this up.
Oh boy.
Is so the switch happened, which was like I was never really accepted up until the point to where I started to have a little success. And when you succeed, your peers accept you a little more, right? So now you win a tournament or two, and you say, oh, well, this guy's actually like, you accept somebody because he's having success.
And now everybody takes the fake surprise selfies when they got a bass. And
Right.
that was your fault. You started that.
I may have.
Everybody's fake surprise.
I may have. But here's what I wanted to say to this, and I've never really talked about this before. Okay. But I vividly remember, like after I had some success and I started, having some wins and stuff, but it was being covered. Like I remember Jerry McInnes and other people. This is like ESPN bought it now. And I remember him getting up at meetings, at BASS meetings, right? You got to remember, back in the day, you'd go to a meeting before the tournament started. You'd all sit in a room together. And Jerry, who was beloved by everybody, and would get up and say, all right, guys. And back then, he wasn't an owner. He was the production. He was jam production. And he was getting up and saying, all right, everybody, we need you to be more excited. We need you to show emotion. And he would reference like Ike did it, here and here. And dude, it worked in reverse for me because then people started feeling obligated to do things they wouldn't normally do. And that I don't want to say hatred, but that discontent toward me, resentment toward me grew because then people felt like they were obligated to do. And I never asked for any of that shit. I never asked for any of it. I never said that was them saying that to the guys.
I got you. Yeah. But you put the heat on them to have personality.
Well,
I
it
did.
Changed. It changed
just by having.
It's a
funny. I think it's a funny thing because it's human nature to want people to like you. I mean, that's a very normal thing.
Of course,
to
you
go
want
into
to be
a group.
accepted.
You want to be accepted. You want
course.
people.
Of course,
I mean,
you do.
like it bothers you if you meet someone and they just don't like you, and you're like, what did I do
We
wrong?
talked about that the other day.
It's funny. We had this conversation.
We did.
Because
You have somebody that doesn't
somebody
like
who
you
just
for no apparent reason.
Yeah, and
besides you have long legs and you're intimidating.
Anyways, but I think the thing that's like lost on people about people from the Northeast is that we all joke. You know what I mean? We bust balls, we bust balls, we bust balls.
That's true.
But if you notice, we bust balls with the people we feel safe with. You know what I mean? We really bust balls amongst friends, and we play and we joke.
Right.
And
only
we
insult
do it.
my friends.
We do. We only really do it when we like people.
Dave, come back.
You know what I mean? Like that's our play.
Dave, come back. Fathead, come back. We miss you, please.
But I think that's what people miss too. We're loud, we're brash, and it's this like jovial, funny. You just bust balls like families do it, friends do it. It's like how we show love is we play.
Balls.
You know what I mean? We
balls of love.
balls and ginas. Like we just do it. You know what I
Balls
mean?
and ginas.
Now we weren't even talking about them. We were just talking about balls.
Balls.
Anyways.
got to bring that into it.
Yeah.
Silverfin. So we just, I mean,
Silverfish.
I'm not eating
Wow. If you ever see silverfin on the menu, do not get it. It's a fucking Asian carp for crying out loud. Don't get the shit.
It's taken him years to eat a snakehead. He's been throwing them back eating catfish because catfish are
eat the
adorable and
snakehead.
snakeheads are
I don't
ugly.
even know where I was going with it. I just think that
Sorry
it's
about
very easy for people to misunderstand Northerners and to instantly have this.
But anyway, getting back to it.
I had a point. I lost it.
That's all right. But getting back to it, to answer
Thank you, Tin Cup.
was Sean, right? To answer his question.
Sean?
It is a different world today. And I'm glad it is. I'm glad it is. Was it Sean?
It was Sean. Sean Lay.
Yeah.
Good job.
It's a different world today.
Oh, we're still on that?
It's a different world today because I don't think I don't think the young different anglers now have as many obstacles as you had or I had or the different anglers of that era had.
Well, you guys paved the way.
Yeah, I don't think they have as many obstacles.
Essentially, you did kick the door open for the guys today that are, going to be the next.
I kicked the effing door open.
Yeah! Yes, Pete!
Pete Gluszek did it.
Kick that door. Beat on your chest.
It's that was my attitude going into it is like, look, that's why I quit engineering. I stopped everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I'm going to do this,
screw that salary and that.
Yeah.
You have to. You got to let it all go. You can't go halfway.
Is anyone else amazed that Pete was able to make that decision?
Yeah. Yes and no. Yes and no.
We're not letting you make any more decisions.
I love Pete, but he is the slowest decision maker ever. That was the premise of that.
Pete, and Becky is the fastest.
Yes.
And wrong,
right or wrong, it doesn't matter.
Just
it's fast or slow.
Yep, I just knee jerk them and I run with it.
I know.
But here is a great fact.
And on to the next one.
I'm glad you made that decision because that's a tough decision.
You got to cry. You got to go for it. If you're going to go for it, it's got to be all in. It's got to be freaking all in. And they can't stop me if I'm all in. And if I don't quit.
Yeah.
And I'll just keep going and going and going. And I did it, and I made it through that program in Bass University. We started that and never quit. To quote Snoop Dogg, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank me. Never quitting.
Please.
1041.
Please mark that.
1041.
Riz, mark it.
That was amazing.
I'd like to take the opportunity to thank me.
Can we have a commercial now? That was so
my
good.
name is Pete Gluszek, bitches.
Bitches, that's right.
I never quit.
First time back in studio. There it goes. I'm Pete Gluszek, bitches. But we're going to take a break here. But honestly, thank you for making that decision because honestly, you affected, think about the ripple of how things would have been different. That was a good decision.
Yes.
You would have been a horrible
Pete's
engineer.
children.
You would have been a horrible engineer. I'm glad you did that. You're great. You're a great pro. You're a great professor at the Bass Show. All right, Brian Carpenter. Dean. Whatever. The dean. Let's take a break.
By the way, that was the 10-year that we had. That's why I was like,
it's so good. All right, listen, we just had Mark Menendez on.
It just made the conversation
It made the conversation great. We just had Mark Menendez on. Hang in there with us because when we come back, we got one more shorter segment for you, but it's just as good. We're going to be open a mystery tackle box. We're going to give this away. We might even let one of you on live. Who knows? Hang in there with us.
As long as you give us your consent written report.
Yes, hang in there with us. When we come back, more Ike Live.
Finesse jig, PB&J, give me something hard.
Hold on.
Hey, KVD here. Now, I didn't always know this much about fishing. 4-aught EWG worm hook. In fact, there was a time when I couldn't tell the difference between a jerkbait and a stickbait. But then I signed up for Mystery Tackle Box, the original monthly tackle subscription. And now I know more about fishing than I do about calculus.
And he knows a lot about calculus.
Plus, I get amazing extras like free fishing magazines. October 2016. Featured article, 4 places to throw a frog. Exclusive decals. Zombie bass. And how-to videos for all the great baits I receive. How to tune a crankbait. Is that underwater footage I smell?
I got goosebumps.
So if you're looking to develop enhanced fishing abilities like me, or you just like getting new tackle every month, go to mysterytacklebox.com and get your box today. Ooh, live minnows. Is it lunchtime already? Nature's candy. Oh. Is he in my pocket?
This time of year, I definitely recommend putting a little bit of this on your soft plastics too. There he is. Another one. Next cast. And that would be number 6. I'm addicted. I'll admit it. I'm straight addicted.
Might be bigger.
You think so?
Yeah. Feels bigger. I haven't even seen this thing yet. It doesn't want to come up. Don't break me off the rocks.
Oh, it's a. Oh!
27 inches.
He caught it.
28.
Oh my God, that's such a healthy fish. Look at this size. Put a little liquid mayhem on your crappie jig, and look where the stripers get it. You can't even see it, man. That might be a keeper.
This is your tackle. Not that kind of tackle. You use it to catch this, or this, or this. You also use this and that and these. This is your environment. So is this. You love it, live for it, but it will turn this into that. This is the Flambeau Z-Rust Max Tough Tainer series. These are fully infused with exclusive Z-Rust VCI anti-corrosion technology. This is a U.S. naval battleship. The same Z-Rust technology used here has been used on those to protect advanced weapon systems from corrosion in conditions like these. For the fish, it's invisible, odorless, tasteless. And for you, it's FDA-safe anti-rust protection for a minimum of 5 years. This is the next level of tackle management, not that kind of management. This is the Flambeau legacy of tackle systems. What's your tackle worth?
It's more than who you are. It's who you're with. And it's more than what you do. It's where you do it. Tin Cup Mountain Whiskey.
And we're back. Is everybody done?
There-
Yeah.
Hemming and hawing.
All right.
There you have it. Welcome back, everyone, to Ike Live. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I know we are. Dude, it's been a great show. Not only does it feel right, we've got to look at us. Look around. Look at us. Rizzo, Brian over there, side by side, fondling each other. We've got Pete right over here, the crust of the show, Beck back. This feels right. It's a great show.
If only Fathead was here.
If only Fatty was
Yeah,
here.
come
Look at
on,
that.
Dave.
Yo, look at that empty chair over there. We have it blocked out, but if we could, we need to zoom out.
There's
But
an
Dave,
emptiness.
I haven't
Dave, we
seen.
need you
I
back.
feel like I haven't actually seen Dave since the classic.
I know.
Which Dave, if you're listening, that was a blast, man. Having him at the
was.
classic was like it was a blast.
He
Like,
was
It took-
amazing.
It took like 6 or 7 years to get him there.
Took a long time to get
Yeah.
him there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the right one to be at, though. That
Got
was
us
a good
lost in
one.
Birmingham,
There was
the
a
whole
lot of
nine.
people. It was fun.
So
Oh,
good.
no, there was a lot of other right ones too.
You think so? That was a good one.
Sheets in the windows.
They were all right.
It's been a great show. Mark Menendez was great. Great stories. But I love the banner that happened after Mark got off. That was great. Now, you think that was sparked by Tin Cup, but I think it was just sparked by having everybody back in the studio again.
Are we socially deprived?
We're socially
are.
deprived, but that's
Oh
what
my
I was
God.
I was
I am.
talking earlier about that. It's like when you're via Zoom, I don't think that same thing would have happened.
Well, never, no.
You know, it
I
was
swear
like,
to God, like the grocery lady checks me out and asks me a question, I'll have a 20-minute conversation with her. I'm so excited to talk to a human being
and an
standing
adult,
in front of me. Yeah,
not
an
a,
adult.
not a kid.
So why
Yeah.
she's checking you out?
Yeah.
Is my mic working?
No, like check out at the grocery store.
Oh, that's
Conveyor
a-
belt,
I was
check out,
thinking something
scan,
completely
beep,
different.
beep, beep.
Yeah, yeah.
Peter,
I did
My
get hit on.
headset's not working.
it's touch your wires. You,
Yeah.
You got bum wires. This
Might
whole
be-
studio is
Mike's standing on him.
This whole
over there.
studio is
Yeah, Mike,
messed up.
stop
Here,
standing
let me
on
get
it.
off. Okay. Let me remind everybody, if you're watching and listening, you're over on Facebook. This is your last opportunity. Like and share the feed. You're going to enter a chance to win this world-famous Ike Live gift bag. Going to announce that in just a second. Riz, some
World
good,
famous.
Riz, some good IMs came through. There were some good ones.
Yeah, it was
They
fun,
were
man.
pushing through. I liked it.
Sean Lay.
Yeah, and Pete's got a ghost now, which was awesome too. Pete's
Casper
ghost.
Pete.
Oh,
Ghost.
Beck, we're also before the show ends tonight. We're doing our winner and weasels of the week.
Yes.
What's that mean?
Everyone, we're going to go around. This is going to be our send-out, grand finale of tonight's show. Everyone has to pick a winner and weasel from what's happened in the world the last few weeks, right, Brian?
Yeah, whatever. Make it up.
Okay, Riz, what do you
Weasel
got?
of the week.
I actually do got one more I definitely want to hit before we go too far. Michael Burry wanted to say thank you to everyone on Ike Live for helping me pass the time battling my Guillain-Barré syndrome. It's been a long road to recovery, and this show helps me pass the time every week learning to walk again.
Hey, Michael Barry's been a fan, been one of our
Yeah.
guys.
Shout out,
he's
Michael.
a super fan.
Shout out, Michael. Thank you for listening. We
wish you the best. That's a shame.
We met him and his son at the Classic at probably somewhere near him. He's an Oklahoma guy.
And he also said it's sad not having Dave's massive head in the studio.
I know, that giant fat head.
But it's good to see Pete's not back in the
It does. It does.
Thank you.
I love the attention on my knot.
Yeah. Shout out to Michael. But it does feel good to hear, and I know we all get it a lot. Brian and Riz and Becky. We all get it.
Get what?
People saying
Pete's not.
No, people saying they appreciate the show, in one form or another. It is nice to hear that.
Oh,
I love to hear
sure,
that.
man.
It's a mental release because it doesn't take much intelligence to watch us.
No. It's pretty bad.
And I want to shout out to Andre for hooking us up,
Yeah.
Riz.
Yeah, bottle of 43.
Yeah, I got a bottle of Cruzan spiced rum.
Oh.
And a packet of baits, which I haven't been able to get on the water with them yet. Andre will this week.
What'd you get?
There you go.
Scrounger heads.
Some scrounger heads
Custom
with
made.
fluke style baits to match.
Okay.
I think it's going. I honestly been playing with it. I haven't explored with it. On the flats, the grass. They get pounded by chatterbaits.
Yeah. More subtle.
Could be.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Can I have a bone to pick?
Sure.
Brian, how many years have we been doing Ike Live?
7, I think.
7 years.
Seven's right.
7 years. All of you listen. No one's ever sent me anything.
Andre got you that bottle of something
did
caramel
somebody-
apple. You got it.
No, that was for him.
That was for yous.
That was for you guys.
No. Andre, that's very sweet. But no one has ever said, Becky, at Ike Live,
Yeah.
I want you to have this.
It's probably because you killed all those dreams all those years.
You're
sending stuff out.
Listen, Riz is
Now-
killing dreams
now
now. and
Riz-
people
No.
still send him shit.
I'm batting like 10 for 10 on the last 10 shows. Come on.
It's funny, like every day I'll come back and we get UPS and FedEx.
You taking credit for the girls that are shipping
Yeah,
the
Yeah, I was going to say,
Hey, Kate,
ships your stuff.
Oh, because I was going to say UPS and FedEx comes here a lot, and they'll drop stuff off, and I always look at the stuff like, oh, Tackle Warehouse, like Foundation BU, cool. But I would always see stuff come back for Ike Live, and it would have Riz's name on it, and it was return to sender.
Oh, God.
Return to sender. Return to sender.
An entire box one time.
I'm like, oh, okay.
He did the postage wrong.
Yeah, Riz is the new dream killer. That's cool.
I'll take it.
But I will admit that, Brian, we've had a lot of perks over the years, all of us from Ike Live. We've had just amazing lures, liquor, electric guitar, a freaking Ike pipe, pictures,
Skateboards.
items, skateboards, and you're right, Beck.
Somebody's gonna get upset.
Yeah.
I don't get shit.
I don't get shit.
You wonder why I go to bed.
Well, this is like guys.
She likes Gucci.
Gucci, Chanel. You have any of that?
Fendi.
Even if you have Fuji or Manel or anything fake.
I spent many years with fake Kate Spades that I bought on
Come on,
the
we'll
DC
take it.
corner. So
We'll take it all. We'll take it
We're
all.
happy. We're happy
That's
with
funny.
a fluke style lure, Becky. Gucci.
Yeah.
listen, my taste is not always expensive. It is Michael Joseph.
No, I just was breathing. I was like,
Michael, what?
all right. Brian Carpenter, I'd like to. What do you think about order here? You think let's open an MTB. Let's open one of the elite boxes here. What do you think? And then we get on to some of this other stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, do that.
Okay. Let me remind everybody, we are the only official podcast that opens
Just
a mystery
open the
tackle
box.
box. And tonight we're going to go back. We've been opening the elite boxes,
Tonight we're going to open a Pro Box. You hear me talk about this a lot, Pete. You know I love this sound. I like to use the pens sometimes to break this seal. There it goes.
Use code Ike Live.
There it goes. You heard that pop?
I think Miss Janet's going to be mad 'cause I think we were supposed to open a green box.
We're supposed to open a green box. Okay.
But we don't have a new one. I'm sorry, Miss Janet.
We don't have a new one. Yeah, because this one's open too, right? Are both these open? Yeah, these are open. That's okay. Let's open a Pro Box. I want to see this. And the rule is we're going to pick one and pass it on. All right, go ahead there. The rule is we pick one and we pass it on.
Is this like still
One lure. Everybody knows the rules.
Yeah. Everyone knows the rules. One pick and pass it on. Everyone knows the rules. One pick and pass it on. Pete, we're going to pass it on.
What
to
does
Rizzo.
MTB have going on? Or are we giving away subscription? Are they giving away?
We are.
What is the?
We're giving away 6-month subscription tonight.
Yes.
Dang
Yes,
right.
yes, yes.
To somebody on YouTube.
Yes, somebody on
Maybe
YouTube.
if
A
Riz writes
lucky.
down their information.
A lucky.
I have to.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Could be.
That's right. Could be.
Could be. You never know.
Could be not. All right, Beck, we want to start with you. And again, this is a MTB Pro Box tonight, the black box. And you picked something pretty interesting looking there. What do you got?
I've got a Shimmer Shad by Ketchco.
Okay.
It has strobe strips. It's a 5-inch. There's 4.
I like
These
the looks
look
of that.
actually Vegas would love these.
Yeah.
These are like a little
I like the look of that.
swim bait. Have like an iridescence on the inside, but they're also translucent. These are pretty interesting. How would you rig that?
Wow, I like that. It is, speaking of fluke style baits, Pete, I would call this almost hybrid fluke finesse worm.
What was that? What was that company that had that spike tail like that?
Yeah, it's got. That's a dope bait. Yeah, I like this in clear water.
The Bass Assassin.
Yeah, Brian's got all the latest in technology here, and he's doing it. I like it. It's got a.
I made them work for the telethon.
It's got a flash strip in it. It's really cool. I could see this working, Pete, on a jig head, a drop shot. I could see it working a lot of ways on the back of a scrounger. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't want a lot of tail action. You want just a little
spike.
deal.
Oh, it has the rigging here. Yeah. Rig
Yeah.
as a fluke or rig it as a drop shot.
Drop shot, fluke. Yep, scrounger.
Look at that with their
Okay.
instructions.
Nose hook it.
Let's keep going. I'm a big fan of frogs. I love frogs. I just had a day with Dave Brodzick, speaking of the fathead.
Frogs.
Recently, where we caught him on frogs.
Did he catch any?
Dave caught a ton.
Hey, where's the picks?
We have it all. We have a Going Ike Raw
Oh, okay.
that we're gonna
Yeah,
we're gonna
so to
release.
see some picks,
Yeah,
guys.
Dave caught a lot. Dave didn't catch any of them giants, but he caught a couple decent ones.
What's he look like? Still same
Giants
same
in
guy?
there,
Same
huh?
dude. Oh, dude.
Really?
Dude.
A
A lot of them like this. Like you'll
Yeah,
catch
yeah.
like 7, 8 like that.
Yeah.
And then the 9th or 10th one will be like that.
Wow.
Good fishery.
Huh.
I'm really into frogs. And I like this, Pete, because this is almost a hybrid here. It's a soft-bodied frog in a shad-shaped body. It almost looks
slim.
like, what's that old head in topwater? This real small one that didn't Zell Rowland do it or?
Splash it?
Splash it.
No.
No. Oh, no, Bill Dance did it. It was you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. What
It
you
almost
mean.
looks
It
like
had
a
a shad shape walk the dog.
Yep.
bait.
It almost looks like a small Zara Spook style body, but it's soft. It's got a double pronged frog hook.
Yep.
And look at this, a single Colorado blade with a swivel that actually works. Look at that. Instead of the skirt of a
Yeah.
frog. Like this a lot.
It's unique.
Live target. I wouldn't buy this, but put it in my hands. MTB does a great job of doing that.
Yep.
Pete, what do you got?
We had this in one of our other boxes, and this is the Lake Fork. What do they call it? The
Magic Shad.
And
Yeah.
this was the original trailer to the Chatterbait.
Chatterbait trailer before the Zaco thing.
And we talked about it before, but it's worth repeating because one of the things that made this unique is it's got the horizontal fork tail.
Yeah.
So that when fish were, feeding up, they could see the fork tail. The ones that exist now are vertical.
Yeah.
Right? They're vertical.
Right.
So it's a different perspective, and we've all gone to that.
Yeah.
Right? But this was horizontal for the purpose of the fish feeding up, being able to see that forked tail.
It's interesting.
Recognizing the shad. It was so awesome.
Yeah.
And now nobody throws it anymore.
Huh.
It's going to give your vibrating jig a new look.
Yeah,
So
maybe more lift too, right?
Yeah.
Horizontal, maybe more lift. That's interesting. Riz, what do you got? Brian, what do you got? What do you guys got over there? MTB box. What do you got? Okay, hold on. What do you got?
And action.
So I have a Castaic Lures Cowboy Topwater. It's got a really unique color. It's got a really unique color scheme there. It's got some gold and some pink on the bottom with some stripes. It's a walking style bait, 2-hook model. I like it because it's not real big. It's not huge. It's something that the fish that we target in South Jersey, those average 2-pounders, won't be too intimidated by. It's a ½ ounce, so you can fire it out there. Castaic, I've used a few of their baits before, and I like them. So I'm going with the Cowboy Topwater.
Brian, what do you got?
Tap water? Did he say tap water?
Brian, what do you got?
Oh, I'm going to do it right now. Dude, this thing's crazy looking. I ain't thrown it yet, but it's the Biospawn Rattlebot. Well, hold on a second over there. Let me do this, that, and that. All right, you guys are good. Biospawn Rattlebot. Dude, look at that. You heard it? Hold on. They're conversing. All right. You got it? All right.
Pete, we needed somebody with brains.
Becky is so
I saw them
tonight.
slaving away
'Cause
with
we're
their
dumb.
with their brains. I'm not
'Cause we're
saying
dumb.
anything.
Well, you never know.
Because we're dumb. All right, Brian, what do you got? I'm sorry. I interrupted.
We already did it.
Oh, we did it. Okay. All right.
It's actually
You don't
pretty
announce
dope,
it?
dude.
Yeah,
the contest?
Yeah, hit
You got
right
it.
now.
Yeah. All right. Listen, this was real quick before we go to the contest. Great example of a mystery tackle box unboxing. A lot of cool lures that you might not normally buy. New, innovative lures, shapes in your hand. That's why you should get an MTB box.
Dude, I got a couple boxes ago. I got a pack of Liquid Mayhem soft plastic swim baits with a little tube of Mayhem in there.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're pretty dope too.
Dangerous.
They're really
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I got
they're
some
actually really dope baits.
I got some crankbaits from MTB boxes that are still in the rotation. I still take them out and use them.
Rotate it.
I like this thing a lot. I'm not kidding. I'll put this in my box for James.
Did you have a shower blows in a box two ago?
Did I? Did I steal it?
Yeah,
I
of
stole
course
it.
you did.
Mike,
I don't remember.
spit and image.
Spit and image is what it is. That's
the name
what
of
that
that
body
bait.
shape is.
Yep.
Yeah. Spit and image.
Hit it.
All right, we've got a great contest that we're going to run tonight. And basically, the first one to come through with the answer on the IM is going to win a
website.
great prize. Yes, on IkeLive.com is going to win a great prize tonight, Riz. Who wants to give the question? Brian? Riz? Who wants to give it? Here it goes.
Sure.
Okay.
So the question for a 6-month subscription to Mystery Tackle Box is, what was the name of Mark Menendez's 13-pound bass? What was Mark Menendez's 13-pound bass name?
Okay, there you have it.
Ramos.
First one to come through with the name.
Wayne.
The name that Mark named the bass.
Wayne.
First one to come through was not Wayne.
It might have been Wayne.
Lon.
It was not
Lon.
Lon. It wasn't Lon.
By the way, Mike, neither one of us were able to.
No,
win
Becky
this.
had
We
to
could-
remember
We could
it.
not have won this. We
No,
both forgot.
we needed
The mic
Becky
was
for this.
fun, dude. That was awesome.
First one to come
Congratulations, Becky. You won a goose.
Oh, something.
Wild Bill came in hot.
through. Wild Bill?
Patty.
Yeah! Yes!
Wild Bill.
Wild Bill.
Wild Bill, you remembered something that Pete and Mike did not.
Yes.
Yes.
And Brian and Rich.
Wild Bill's smarter than us. me and Pete are
I'm the
very
only
dumb.
one.
And Brian's dumb too. Yeah. Wild Bill, congratulations. You just won a 6-month subscription to Mystery Tackle Box.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes, and it goes to a great guy too.
Heck
Good
yeah.
job.
Indeed, it
Stellar.
does.
Good deal.
job.
Your old
Yeah.
working
Coworker.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
coworker.
Order.
Dion.
Yes, Dion. And man, we fished Davis Mill back in the day, and we had a couple amazing days there.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
I
Heat of
love the
summer.
story about you guys just flipping in like the aisles.
Oh yeah.
And selling rods because of it. Like
oh yeah.
It's genius.
Oh yeah, flipping in the aisles, selling rods.
Hey,
I
flip
mean,
it.
sold a lot of equipment.
It's the
Smack
best
it up,
way to get
flip it,
attention.
Rub it down.
It is. Yeah. All right. I'd like to. What are you thinking
Hold on,
about?
no,
You
we
wanna-
got to do our winner and we.
Oh, I was going to do this and then go out to that. You not want to do? Okay.
It's your
we can
show.
do it. Oh, it doesn't matter.
You
All
know
right.
the next part's going to get rowdy, so you should probably just pick this winner.
All right.
Well, that's
you're
what I
right.
figured.
All
Okay. In just a second here, we're going to
Good
pick
callback.
our Facebook winner. And thank you to everybody that watched tonight over on Facebook, Pete. We want to thank them.
Like and share real quick.
Yes, we asked you to like and share.
Yep.
We're going to do this promotion every single Ike Live show. And we're going to give a winner. A winner is going to get this bag. 20,
Hopefully.
What do you think? 20? What would you put it at, Beck? In the 20s. Low 20s?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
got stuff in there.
Low 20s, loaded with Ike Live sponsors. They're all in here. Even a BU product is in here. Pete, what's in here from BU? You remember? Is it a hat? Is it a
pen.
scarf? What is it?
A scarf?
Is it an ascot?
There's some socks in there, though.
Well, speaking of Liquid Mayhem, look at that. There's Liquid Mayhem in there. I see an Ike Live hat. Jesus, that's rare. Look at that thing. Got to be something in there, BU. Pete? I don't know. Ascot? Not sure what.
Richard's
I
working
believe
on it.
I believe we have a subscription card in there, probably a hat.
Okay.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Brooch
who
a
knows?
pterodactyl.
It's in there.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that's from, Mike?
What's that?
A
Brooch?
hat, a brooch, a pterodactyl.
Airplane.
Come on.
Is it airplane?
Yeah, it's airplane.
I don't remember that.
Do we have a winner?
We do.
Okay, Riz, and our Facebook like and share winner tonight is
Our Facebook Like and Share winner tonight is from Norfolk, Virginia, Mr. Robert Brown, a kayak angler. Congratulations, Robert Brown. You won yourself the Ike
Congratulations.
Live gift bag.
Robert Brown.
You have about a 50% chance of receiving it.
That's right.
Hopefully,
luck,
Robert,
Robert.
you'll get this. Yeah, hopefully you'll get this.
That's not the worst.
Here's
take
a,
those odds.
ever be in your favor.
Yeah, here's a quick little thing I want to talk about too before we get into our new little end of the night deal, Brian, which is one of the great sponsors of Ike Live,
Keith Cowan.
Torquedo.
Oh.
We got the chance to spend a couple days with Jeff Little and Trey here, and it was awesome. And very, very excited about some of the content you guys are going to see here shortly with the different ways to utilize the Torquedo. And we filmed out here on the lake, Pete, and we had Brian with his boat, of course, a big 16-footer, heavy. He's got the cruise on his
2.0.
2.0.
Maybe.
We got to see Vegas in his little tiny boat, Coleman Crawdad with the travel light, which
Okay.
was awesome. And then I just got one put on my kayak, Pete. Just installed one on my Hobie PA 360-12, which I'm very excited
How
about.
fast does it
Ultralight.
go?
I am 6 miles an hour.
Get the hell out of here.
In my kayak. This is the ultralight, and pretty interesting because I can control it with my feet, left and right. I've got my steering on pedals, on different pedals than my 360's on, and it alleviates a lot of issues with kayak fishing, right? So like distance, speed, maneuverability in certain cases. But one of the ones I didn't think of is the slow and low. Like, so it's all throttle controlled, actually has a throttle, reverse and forward. But I could get that Torquedo and like engage it like 1 or 2% forward, right? And dude, it just slowly goes to where you can get
fish.
a cast.
Yeah.
And like, pick your lineup and your little it's a thing I didn't think about. You know what I mean? With that Torquedo. Another use of it. So cannot wait.
Interesting.
Cannot wait for you guys to see some of that footage of the Torquedo stuff. It's going to be really good. Yes. And what do we call it, Brian? The Olympics? What did we say? Was it the Torquedo?
I believe it was the Laugh Olympics. Beck, you remember them?
First annual Laugh Olympics?
The Laugh Olympics?
Torquedo?
No.
You don't remember the
Laugh?
You're probably how old are you? Pete, you remember the Laugh Olympics?
No.
It was a cartoon.
Never saw it.
Oh, come on.
No.
It was Hanna-Barbera, I believe. That was the...
I don't remember Laugh
You don't remember
Olympics.
the Laugh Olympics?
No.
Are you making this up, Brian?
No. Somebody... Richard. Bring it up, Rich.
What?
I can't see.
He's making this shit up. All right.
I am not.
right,
Captain Caveman.
Captain Caveman, of course.
He was part of that.
Okay.
I don't remember the Laugh Olympics.
What? Is this real?
Yeah, people on YouTube, let us know.
All right.
Facebook people, they don't know.
Laugh Olympics. I don't believe it. All right, Brian. This is
a
really fun part of the show.
Is it?
Yes, because we're starting
fights.
A new.
I don't get it.
Listen to me. I'm going to explain it to everybody.
Everybody's so nervous right now.
This is the end of the show.
We're all
getting
sweating.
ready here. We got a few minutes left. We're starting a new segment each week, and this segment is called the Winner and Weasel of the Week.
Yeah, I stole it from like every sports radio talk show across the country.
There you have it. Brian stole it. So
you actually have taken time to figure out who you're picking as your winner and your weasel.
This whole thing only revolves around me wanting to call somebody out for being a weasel.
There you go.
That's the only reason.
All right.
Okay.
So should
I
we
figured
start
as
with
much.
Brian?
We might as well, because Pete, do you have a winner and a weasel?
I do.
Well, I've had 2 hours, so I'm prepared.
I have about 2 minutes. I got nothing. I'm just.
I know.
We'll do you last. We will go to you last.
Beck, make a decision.
Yeah, make a decision. All right, so we've got
That was
the
good, Pete.
winner and weasel segment here on Like Live. Pete, you want to start? You want to start
Oh,
over on
my
Riz
God.
and Brian? What do you want to do?
Well, I'll start because
Okay.
I'm afraid somebody else will pick my winner. But
Okay.
I want to.
I feel like we're going to be shut down when Brian starts. So get
Nah.
yours out.
well,
Good call, Beck.
I want to.
You're
I
on
want
it.
to. The winner is Matt Becker from PA for winning
Yes.
the MLF
Congratulations
Big
to Matt.
Derby from
Very nice.
Pennsylvania,
PA
going
guy.
down and learning how to catch herring spawn bass.
Matt's from Pennsylvania?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
winning.
his sister's from Pennsylvania too, then, right?
Is that? I'm not following.
Well, they're both winners of the week. Congratulations, everybody.
Winner, but he's a big time winner. The weasel is I had a contractor at my house to do an estimate, and it's like 3 months out, and this carpenter guy still has not given me an estimate.
Well, there's a carpenter right there.
It might be him.
Wow. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Dude, that's the only weasel I could come up with in a short time.
It was good though.
That was Pete. That was perfect. And I'll take that. I mean, when I was hot on it, he wasn't ready, and when he was ready, I've gotten inundated.
Right.
So
The world's gotten
yeah,
crazy.
she would, when she's hot, you got to grab it.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
All right, that's
There
a good
you
one.
go.
But I'll take that. It's a good one, Pete.
Riz, going to you next. Winner and weasel of the week here on Ike Live Show.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the winners are Wild Bill and Michael Berry.
They are.
And
yes.
This might be controversial. The weasel
Guy on Facebook.
is whoever got rid of Freddie and Kay from Anchor Marina. It's not the same over there anymore. Tournaments. I'm just gonna air it out right now. The tournaments are a mess. They held down the ship. They kept everything right. If you got yelled at because you couldn't park a trailer, so be it. But Freddie and Kay held that shit down, and it's not the same anymore. And guess what? I'm not launching my boat there anymore because Freddie and Kay aren't there because it's not the same. Getting off the tournament, and getting in the golf cart with Freddie or Kay, it's what it was for so long. So
they got
so Anchor Marina. As much as I love them guys over there, shame on getting rid of Freddie and Kay.
Wow.
Any idea?
Weasels. I don't know.
Yeah, I have to. I'm totally with you on this.
I don't know.
Because I went down to that tournament to put flyers out,
Yeah.
and the parking was horrific.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen if Kay was back there.
I've never seen rigs parked so horribly.
I heard.
And that's all.
I heard those guys were volunteers. Freddie and Kate they volunteered for that.
Well, you
all
can't
these years.
fire volunteers.
Well, you can get into a dispute similar to Fathead and BTC, and for no reason at all.
I have no dispute with Dave.
Wow.
It's one-sided.
All right. Well, that was a good one, Riz. And I've got a winner and weasel myself, and they both relate to what's happening out here on my lake right now. The winners of the week for me are Stella and Vegas.
Yes.
Both of them catching their first spawners of the year.
Nice.
And Stella catching her PB yesterday at about a 4.5 pounder on the bed.
Wow.
So congrats to Vegas and Stella. By the way, you're going to see those photos for Big Bass Week, Pete. You'll see those coming up.
Good deal.
And the weasels of the week
There's a
are
spinner
all
bait.
these motherfuckers sneaking on this lake.
What?
You're a weasel. I've seen more people have no idea who they
Hold on a
are
second.
on Lake X.
We made a career out of doing this.
We did make a
Think
career,
about it.
but it wasn't my lake.
All right.
This is my lake. Stay the hell off my lake. You know who you are. Yeah, you keep sneaking in the back. See what happens. I got a knife.
Come on,
That's
I'm still.
right.
We're still
You
sneaking
want
on
tires on that car?
I got a knife.
Try keep sneaking on the back of the lake.
Come on.
Instant
Let
message
me get mine out before you shut this.
Instant
Okay.
message me, and I will give you 5 ways to sneak on this lake.
All right, so my weasels are the weasels on Lake X. All right, Beck.
I had approximately 10 minutes to come up with this.
Okay, should we go to Brian?
Nope.
No, he has to close the show. It's going to be bad.
Well, the
Um,
winners of the
be
week
bad.
might be the Kentucky Derby.
I love the Derby. Oh my God. Yes. The winner of the week goes to Bob Baffert and Medina Spirit. Woo! Does anyone else love the Derby? I totally wore a fascinator and I made Mike take me out to get mint
Becky
juleps.
wore a fascinator. It was actually this, like tilt to the side on her hair.
That's so fun.
What's that? Oh, no.
What won the Derby? What kind of weight did they have?
My weasel. My weasel of the week.
That was funny.
Was it that funny?
It was pretty funny.
Wow. The
Take up.
weasel of the week goes to my children's bus driver.
Oh shit!
Beck shut it down.
Yeah.
Will not let them have conversations with their friends on the bus
This is
without
pretty bad.
separating them to another side of the bus. They're not allowed to play with the little poppy things, which I guess are now banned in school
What
anyways.
are poppy things?
I don't know. They're these little things. They're not allowed to play with toys. They're not even allowed to open their backpacks to check to make sure they have all their school stuff in it.
This is a great time to do an imitation of Stella in Vegas' bus driver. By the way, she's probably in her 60s to 80s, I'd say.
60s to 80s.
It's a little broad.
Get on the bus! Oh God.
Anyways, this is my weasel. Step off. Anyways,
callback.
my point is that our children have lived through a pandemic, right, Pete, for the last year, and we talk about lack of socialization. Our children have a lack of socialization when they're at school. They have to wear masks. They're separated. They're not allowed to interact whatsoever with the other kids. Like,
Cut 'em a
it's
break.
hard. Cut them a break.
Cut 'em
They're
a
on
break,
the
you
bus.
old
Let
biddy.
them talk to their friends. Like, this shouldn't be so hard. Like, just let them be kids.
Cut them a break.
Thank you. I speak my
$20
piece.
an hour is a lot of money to drive a bus.
This is
Cut
what
'em a
happened.
break.
This is what happens when I'm given 10 minutes.
Smoker.
I just threw the bus driver under the bus.
Smoker.
The bus driver under the
Who
bus.
even smokes anymore? You know?
Who said you've never even heard her
She's
talk?
a smoker. How do you
Brian,
know
let's hear
she
yours.
smokes? And she's
We
got
have
a
to-
beehive.
This is my weasel. He stole my weasel.
All right, Brian, what do you got? Weasel and winner.
Oh my God, are you bringing up like
Nope.
videos with yours?
Come on,
Yeah.
we're good.
No. Winner?
Oh, winner, me.
I'd like to thank you.
You
I'd
stole
like
that
to
from
thank
Pete.
myself.
You stole that from Pete.
No. I earned it. The winner of the week was me. I fished on Friday while I had guys on the job working.
All right.
I've been working hard to get towards that. Hopefully, there's
win.
more of that to come. I'll take it.
House Caesar.
It's been hard to get there. And my weasel of the week. So I saw our buddy, our very good friend Matt Pangrak, fishing the last event. And I saw his boat. You know, he posted a picture of his boat, and there it was, his wrap, him and Bradley Hallman. And I zoomed in, put my glasses on. I zoomed in on his wrap, and I wanted to see you. And I looked for that BTL logo, and it was like this big. What's the cheapest, smallest logo? It was like this big. So my weasel of the week is Mark Jeffries for not ponying up for Matt. That should have been a BTL wrap, Mark. Get it together.
Yeah, but do you know the whole story, though? Because maybe Mark did pony
Are you
up.
going to ruin my weasel?
No, I'm just saying.
With truth?
Oh, I don't know.
What's the story?
I don't know. Maybe
just
Jeffries
feels like
paid
a-
and Matt didn't put the right signage on there. Do we know the whole story? I don't know. All right, that could be.
Sometimes you throw people a bone because they employed you for multiple years.
My
it's a
good. So I
freebie.
can't get my weasel? It's my weasel, remember?
Everybody needs their weasel.
Let me get my weasel back. That should have been a big
We,
giant.
you know what?
just said
We need
PTO
more
on it.
thought put into these.
No, we don't. I like them when they're
Mine
thoughtless.
was perfect.
They're thoughtless.
Mine was perfect.
Brian got to think for a week.
No, I thought of it on the way here, probably.
No.
Yeah.
Probably.
I like the thoughtless shows. They're
I
better.
still like Riz is the best.
I thought of that when
do
Mike
too.
said, "Riz, you're up."
Yeah.
It was
Wow. That was quick.
Because I'm really worried about the Pro-Am without Freddie.
I am.
Yeah,
today.
it's not right.
I'm not
It's-
kidding.
I'm not
It's,
kidding.
it's
either.
really not right.
So can we get some answers?
I don't. I
Didn't they like live across the street?
They do.
They
They live
do.
right next
They
door.
do. They still live there.
Do you think that we could pay them to park?
I bet you could.
I wonder. I've got Freddie's number. Maybe I'll call Freddie and be like, "Hey, Freddie."
It just won't be the same. It just won't be the same.
It
this
won't be
summer.
the same without him yelling at everybody.
No.
Ah, that makes my day.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure when the elites came that they were all pissed off at them too because they didn't, they don't get that brashness.
Yeah.
I just remember some social posts that were like taking jabs. I'm pretty sure it was that. But that is different. We embrace it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We
get
could
it.
hire
It's like the soup guy from Seinfeld. No soup for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that's the only way that Freddie can get people to do what they need to do.
Yeah.
Like, because guys are like all worried about getting launched and they're fish and they're this and do I have this and that. Like, I think that's the only way to be like, yo,
Yeah. Go move the cars up.
what are you doing?
The ramp puts it holds two people. Don't just put one.
Yeah.
Two people at once.
Yeah.
100
And
boats. Come on.
Do you want me to yell at people?
Yeah.
And here's the other thing.
Yell.
That's a
No.
huge. That is a huge pet peeve of mine. See, this is my weasel. I got
Uh-oh.
weasel number 2.
Oh,
That's a 2-lane boat ramp.
it is.
Why can't you back down when someone else is back down? Is it
I'll
that
tell you-
scary?
I'll tell you why.
Because there's a kayak in the other lane.
Because people have not learned that you have to turn your headlights out.
That's another.
When
pet-
you're-
that's
when you're
another
on the
weasel.
launch ramp.
This was in the afternoon.
Dude, this is dominoing weasels.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
I was there in the afternoon.
You know what? That
And I
truck
yelled
driver
at-
that cut me off.
I yelled at Rich. I was like, "You're going to back down now, right?" Because like there was one because the 10 guys before him only could let one guy down at a time.
That's
At
bad.
broad daylight.
That's bad.
Well,
Well, and in the morning, you're right, Pete. A lot of guys leave
That's
their
true.
lights on.
True story.
Please turn your lights.
I can't
on.
even see the trailer when I back down Mike's truck. I just guess.
And
Yeah.
I just,
well,
I
if it
hope it's in
doesn't
the water.
fishtail out, you're
Yeah.
good.
when you're at an elite tournament or top level tournament, right? You can make that claim.
Yeah.
But when you're at the Ike Foundation tournament, I mean, it's like Jaws. I mean, there's people with all different types of boats and shapes. And they might they're backing down for the first time. This year,
11:22.
you know?
It's like
Wow.
God,
They
Pete,
need
I
s-
miss you, man.
They need
Dave,
some help.
Dave
you know?
Brodzik, if you're watching, you better come back quick. Pete's taking your job.
Oh man.
We
Just
definitely
telling
did yell at some people. I was there at the ramp. I yelled at some people last year.
Oh, you guys
Lights
did
off.
good last year.
Lights off. Yeah.
Well, here's
Yeah.
the thing. If,
You had the whole Alpha Cat crew out there snapping.
yeah, and if we can't get Freddie, if we can't
Listen.
get Freddie back, we'll hire Estella Vegas's bus driver to come down
Yeah.
and park people.
Miss Chokes on deck.
Yeah.
Get in the bus.
From South Park.
Sounds like a South Park game.
Is anyone still watching?
No.
No.
Nobody's still watching.
Yeah. A lot
No,
of people.
Facebook's
No.
massive.
We got like
They've
10.
been crushing our
Yeah.
algorithm.
Our algorithm's bad. All right, listen. I want to, dude. What a great show. A lot of fun. What a great show. First of all,
Stop lying.
no. This was a good one. First of all, thank you to Mark Menendez for coming
Yeah,
on the show.
Mark.
Great
Thank
guest,
you,
great
Mark.
stories.
Best of luck this week.
Charles.
Yes, want to thank Charles, Sir Charles, for coming on, talking a little bit about the half a spot.
I can't
tournament.
wait, dude.
Very
Yeah.
good,
It'll be
Charles.
fun.
Thank you for coming on.
Yes.
Also, want to thank everybody in here. It felt good to have everybody back. Pete,
Yep.
Becky, Rizzo, Brian DeCarpenter. Thank you guys. Great show, and thanks to everybody for watching tonight.
Thanks for coming out.
It was a fun show, and Brian DeCarpenter.
Yes.
Keep calling Fishburne. Who else we got? Zell Rowland. We got
Oh,
a couple,
Zell's.
couple other
don't
good
say it.
guests.
Somebody
JT Realmuto.
Oh.
before you know it. Never
That's
mind.
right.
Yeah, but we got some shows in the queue. But we'll talk afterwards because we've got to figure out the schedule.
Yeah. Okay. There you have it. All right.
no
So,
worries.
thank you for tuning in.
BU
I hope you
Tuesday
have a
night.
wonderful week. Got a BU, Big Bass BU coming up in a couple days, and taking us out, Pete. We got your friend and ours wearing Gucci sweater, the one and only Snoop Dogg.
Sweet.
Have a good
I
night,
wanna
everybody.
I want to thank me for believing in me I want to thank me for doing all this hard work. I want to thank me for having no days off. I want to thank me for never quitting. I want to thank me for always being a giver and trying to give more than I receive. I want to thank me for trying to do more right than wrong. I want to thank me for just being me at all times. Snoop Dogg, you a bad motherfucker, cuz.
Oh my God, that's
wow.
Our durable woven fabric prevents ripping and provides UV protection. And our tape seams provide protection against the elements. The heavy-duty shock cord hem and strap and buckle system provide a tight and secure fit. Our top-of-the-line boat covers come with a ventilation system to keep your boat free from mold buildup. Empire Covers, protecting what you love. You take